5 points at 6 p.m.
Sure.
to start your Thursday afternoon.
See, I would argue against that because I think like your teenage years or your prime sports viewing years, like from like 13 to 16, 17, around then, like, because at that point in time, you're probably pretty knowledgeable about sports because like you'll watch them or play them as a kid, but maybe you don't understand all the ins and outs. But as you get into those teen years, I think that's when you really start clicking and connecting with a lot of sports to where you're fully understanding what you're watching, what you're witnessing, greatness, you know, the technical breakdowns and those kind of things. And you don't have nearly as many responsibilities at that point in time. You come home from school, you do your homework, and hey, I got the rest of the night to watch whatever's going to be on. Do you think you bring up a great point that I'm not sure of, but now I kind of think back because no offense to those that get past like 23 and 24 and still doing it. I know a lot of you played EA Sports college football the last 2 years that are in their 40s because it came out as a. But you bring up a good point because I feel like when you play those games, your interest, your knowledge of kind of secondary information is raised because you're playing college football. So you're like, oh, man, like for me, like there would be random players that you knew. Darren Sproles, who was good at Kansas State, but I don't know how well of a household name he was. You're like, oh, I'm getting Kansas State because Sproles is a 99. I'm really glad you brought that up because you retweeted this last night. I came across somebody had posted an old screenshot of a Braves game from like 2005 or 2006, and it had the lineup in there with obviously Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, but guys like Rafael Furcal, Marcus Giles, guys like that that were in the Braves lineup. And I said, you know, when I think of Braves, I still think of that era of the Braves, and part of that is because I was 10, 11 years old watching the Braves back then, which were, again, those kind of formative years of watching sports. But also, one of my favorite sports video games of all time was MLB Slugfest 2006. And that was the lineup for the Braves that year. I played that game relentlessly for years and years and years. So that lineup is like burned into my mind from using it so much in that game. And you might be right. I think I would take it as if I said you were right, it's because, as you just pointed out, you're playing video games in that point, and you know, let me tell you, I don't think y'all can use this. Tyler and I can, and Wes, even at our age, if we buy a video game, you know, I don't know if you know this, I learned this, thank you to my CPA, it's research. Sure. It's a write-off. Yeah. And so, but how many of us are out going and spending $69? Oh, yeah, there we go down here. Oh, Mr. Tay bought a whole PS5 and wrote it off there. That a boy. But yeah, you get the point. You didn't do that, so now maybe if I'm doing it, I'm buying Austin video games, and you know, it's a write-off. But research again for your job. But the bottom line is, I think from 13 to 17, 12 to 19, somewhere in there, you're playing so many video games that you have kind of the random knowledge of players. By the way, when I was playing baseball all the way through high school, I mimicked my batting stance after Ryan Langerhans, because I used him in the game so much, and I got to see like the behind view of how he stood in the batter's box, and that's how I stood in the batter's box. I think nobody else remembers that guy but me. Good topic. Good topic today. What sport player did you mimic your game after? 803-404-6100. We'll go with that throughout the day. What sport player? Because I did at one point. Remember, David Justice had the high leg step. Yeah. Ken Griffey Jr. did something. I did that at one point. Like, my baseball career is filled with just going from player to player to player and acting like that player. Sure. Not the way to grow up playing baseball is to alter your swing about every 3 months or whatever. Probably. Do you remember the pitcher Mike Gonzalez? The Braves had him for a short period of time, and he threw kind of side-armed. I tried pitching like that. It didn't work, but I saw it. I was like, oh, that looks cool. Okay. Let me try that. It didn't work. Okay. But I still mimicked it. What was the player? 803-404-6100. We didn't have this on script, but I like this topic. The player, a sport, whatever, that you mimicked your game after, that you would go out and you'd be like, oh, like I'll give you an example. Now, I didn't mimic my game after him because nothing was the same. But I was just talking to Terry Ford out in the hallway about this. The other night, I watched 2 a.m. in the morning because I can't sleep. I watched the 30 for 30 on the Orlando Magic. Okay. And it just brought back memories of Penny Hardaway. And my goodness, you couldn't have found a larger Penny Hardaway fan, at least in this state, than I was. I loved Penny Hardaway, but there was no translation between him and me. He's at least 6'7". A little different. Yeah. He's 6'7". He's 5'6", 5'7"-ish, if you want to listen to my opinion of it. So I related back to other point guards that were closer to my size, which at that time, again, not sure I had the quickness, the ability, the shooting touch, and everything. But Allen Iverson was like more of, I was like, oh, okay, he's a smaller point guard. There was a guy at Notre Dame named Chris Thomas who I loved, who I thought was like a really fun point guard. Melvin Watson was running through my time locally. But yeah, who did you mimic? Because I'll say, I go back to this. I think baseball was the one, because you're right. Everybody has kind of a unique swing.
Mm-hmm.
And David Justice was the one with that high leg kick that I was like, which, I didn't know he was timing.
Sure.
That was his way of timing out the pitch.
It looked cool.
It looked
right.
Cool.
Was it Julio Franco that held the bat really high up
way over his head?
Yeah, that was always unique.
In basketball for a little while there, Stephon Marbury had a way of shooting it and pulling his hands, like not doing what you're supposed to, which is leave your hand up. Marbury had a way of shooting it and pulling his hand back. And for about a couple months, I did that until Coach Harris was like, what are you doing?
Because he probably knew exactly what you're doing. Like, no, stop that.
Yeah. I don't know if he knew who I was imitating, but it was like, hey, it ain't working. Cut that out. So 803-404-6100. Player and team that you mimicked growing up when you were little. But I think there's a point to it. I'll go when you're older, because I think your priorities and your time shifts a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I might be as into sports now, unfortunately, because I got sick, and the way I have to kind of live and do things right now, I have those two TVs in my bedroom, in my recliner. I got a recliner in there where I do dialysis, and so I'll have the two TVs going in. Late last night, one was on the Penguins and the Flyers, who apparently are just going to fight over any little thing. Those two teams, like, they're fighting like it's the end of the world right now.
It's almost like they're in-state opponents.
Well, but in the playoffs,
yeah,
you don't want to fight because you go to the penalty box and it hurts your team.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that last night?
They loaded up the penalty box.
Oh, it was the clown car. Yeah, they had one full-out brawl. And, I mean, at one point they're playing 3-on-3 last night. And I've always been under the impression in hockey, you don't fight in the playoffs because, in the regular season, it's kind of like Bobby Cox getting ejected a million times. How many times did he get ejected in the regular season against the playoffs?
I was going to say, he almost had a full regular season worth of ejections in his career.
Yeah, it's 162 games. It's normally
he had like 160 ejections, I think.
Exactly.
Over his career.
Like, there was times he's old. It's hot. He had a really good team. He's like, I don't need to be here for this game. Like, Maddox is on the mound.
Or it can also be like a firing up tactic, right? Like, hey, we need a little bit of juice. I'm going to go get thrown out. That's going to fire the boys up. Because, again, it's July and, you're still in a divisional race. But, yeah, hurting yourself in the postseason when you're taking yourself off the ice does affect your team more.
Or off the field or out of the dugout or whatever it may be. Yeah, I was the kind of – I could get it in baseball. Like, you're a manager, you're like, man, I don't feel like being here today. Like, because what's the Bo Jackson, if you've ever seen it, the Bo Jackson story about – he had just had his first child. He's with Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they're like, you need to come play. And Bo was like, I was not a good enough player at that moment to kind of make my own demands.
Sure.
And he's like, my wife had a baby, and I wasn't ready to go back. He said it was like 3 days later. My wife had just had a baby. I think she was coming home that day. And he was like, I didn't want to play that day. He said, so I go to the ballpark. He goes, I'm upset at everybody. I'm upset at the whole world. He goes, all of a sudden, he's sitting in the dugout, and he's like, I got an idea. He's like, I'm going to get ejected in the first inning. And he said, sure enough, he goes up there, and he goes, I swung at the first two. He goes, I just swung at the first two. And he goes, the third one was on the corner. He goes, it was on the corner. It was probably a ball. I don't know. He goes, but I turned it. He called it a strike. He said, I turned around to the umpire and just lit into him. Told him he was blind. He said, I said some words you're not supposed to say out loud. And he said, the guy said, if you say one more thing, I'm ejecting you from this game. And Bo said, I cussed him out. Basically, the guy ejected him. He said, I'm ejected in the top of the first, or the bottom of the first. He goes, I go into the dugout, change my clothes, go home, and I drink beer with my four-day-old son. He goes, it was one of the best days of my life.
Well, the son wasn't drinking the beer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, again, but, yeah, we'll see. 803-404-6100. Bunch of y'all weighing in. Timbo goes with, I modeled my baseball playing after Pete Rose, the Reds. I swatted the ball everywhere on offense. I was diving for balls everywhere and sliding head first into bases, even in Pee Wee League, and I was 10. I did not barrel over the catcher, though, but I did play hard and left it on the field. Greg from Sumter goes defensively, Brooks Robinson. Offensively, Steve Garvey. I have been an Oriole fan, along with Terry, my whole life because of Brooks Robinson. Walt says moving the bat around like Melvin Mora in his stance. That's the good old days.
Okay.
Jonathan goes with post moves like Kevin McHale, but my shot form was Mark Price. I played post at 6'7", but I had a good shot, so I played small forward.
Nice.
Keep sending those in. We got a couple. We got plenty of them coming. I'll get to all of these. Who is the player that you mimicked growing up? And what sport? Well, we'll probably know the sport, but we'll get into that. A couple of y'all sent in a few more. There's two more right there from Mike and another text that I'll get to. Also, we'll get to some basketball today. South Carolina hires a new position at the University of South Carolina, or the South Carolina basketball hires a new position. We'll get to that a little bit. Also, get you set a little bit for the NFL draft tonight. We talked about this off air yesterday as we were leaving. It's kind of a flat NFL draft.
It lacks a lot of star power compared to years past.
Yeah, I've never been a truly draft guy, but the draft is, I don't know, there's something about it last year that I don't have the pool for it to even really get into it, but we'll talk about that as well as a little bit of baseball. Congratulations to the softball team last night.
Crazy game.
They go up and kick a field goal late in the game to win 16-14 over North Carolina. From what I've read on the internet, secondhand information, that was a huge win as it pertains to getting into the NCAA tournament. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Captain David Ayer, and Tyler Head. It is the halftime show.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Since that win at Clemson by the Gamecocks, things haven't gone well. And when things don't go well, it's time to look back on the days when things were well. Yeah, let's spin back to the good old days on the Game Network.
The Gamecocks are making history in Cleveland. They'll be the 10th team, the 5th program to go undefeated and win the national championship. They will avenge their loss to Iowa from last year. The clock ticks down. 2 seconds to play. Celebration in Cleveland. Perfection wears garnet and black.
Game over. Gamecocks are in the Final Four.
Now that's some good feels right there. From 107.5 The Game and the Game Network. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Are you ready for a new Gamecock tee? At Gamecock Traditions, they've got the latest styles and deals that will make you do a double take. Right now, grab 2 tees for just $25. That's right, 2 for $25. Most places charge that for just 1. Want name brands? Champion tees are just 2 for $38. And you can mix or match men's, women's, or kids' styles. Small sizes all the way to triple extra large. Fresh designs, incredible prices. Always the Gamecock Traditions way. Lexington, Sand Hills Village, or online at GamecockTraditions.com. Don't wait, these deals will won't last.
I went through some challenges growing up. Sports was my outlet.
Tonight, the NFL Draft is live on ABC.
I believe that's what football's all about. The fans, your teammates, and family.
Be there when the next generation of legends steps into the spotlight. Touchdown! Hosted by Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban, Desmond Howard, and the College Game Day crew, who will write their name into NFL history.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Tonight at 8 on ABC Columbia, Channel 25.
Hi, I'm ABC Columbia Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
And I'm Good Morning Columbia meteorologist Tyler Ryan. From the sun up
to sun up the next day, we're dedicated to bringing you the most up-to-date and accurate weather information.
Our forecasts are designed with you in mind, so that you're prepared for whatever the weather throws your way.
And when severe weather strikes, we'll be on the air to keep you safe and keep you informed through every storm.
Watch ABC Columbia Weather on the air or on the ABC Columbia app.
Hey, that was our exit. We're gonna miss the first pitch.
Just gotta make a stop at Kroger. I promised I'd bring nachos.
Nice. You have the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's that?
Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And they just added Kroger stores in Columbia.
Wait, I can get money back just for buying groceries?
Yep, and right now you can get an extra $10 bonus on your first Kroger trip with the app. That's up to $25 cash back on one grocery run.
Even this Kroger store right here?
Yes. Now pull over. Let's get some cash back on those nachos.
Upside is now available for Kroger stores in the Columbia area. Download the free Upside app and use promo code FAM3 to get a $10 bonus on your first purchase at Kroger. That's promo code FAM3. Remember, use promo code FAM3.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in this afternoon with your player that you mimicked. A couple of y'all, Mark, going with I tried to model my golf swing. I tried to model my golf swing after Fred Couples. I think because we're in our 40s, don't we all still do that? We try to model our golf swing. That's really what most of us play now.
Sure.
I know my buddy Joel Sanders said he entered a 37 and up, or I don't know, he's 37, but men's basketball league down here. So I don't know if you're 37 and you're trying to mimic your game.
Maybe not.
Maybe times. I think you're just trying to mimic your game after like those that don't get injured.
There's a difference between mimicking and like taking tips from, right? Because all right, you can look at like I don't know Scotty Scheffler's golf swing and be like, okay, I see what he's doing to accomplish that. And not directly doing the same thing, but fine-tuning your own shot within some of the things that you see that he's doing, but not copying it directly.
I'll give you, at 43, I'll be 44 in 2 weeks. My up and down the court basketball days are done. They're done. And as a matter of fact, my athletic days right now are based on what has happened with this kidney here, are currently done. My son is making so much fun of me when I go to shoot basketball with him because of how weak I've gotten. But a couple years ago when I was still playing, Tyler, I mimicked my game, and this is late 30s, after a great father-type figure to me, Dwayne Everett. His son Sheldon Everett played at the University of South Carolina. Dwayne coached me growing up. Excellent man, incredible human being. But I mimicked my game after his. Why did I mimic my game after his? Because about I don't know, at some age, and he was athletic. He was ultra athletic and played basketball. He was a good basketball player. At some older age, he popped his Achilles.
Okay.
So at that point, I was like, I'm going to mimic my game after his, which is a lot of walking, nothing inside the three-point line.
It's like, I'm going to get there when I get there type thing.
You guys are getting a non three-point specialist. But anyway, 803-404-6100. Greg goes with Chipper Jones 2.0. Yep, that's it. That's a good one. Now, these are two good ones. Alan goes, I tried to play like Andres Galarraga.
Okay.
Mike goes with Darryl Strawberry. Another texter goes with Dustin Pedroia, second baseman for the Red Sox. Short and scrappy swing was butter.
I remember.
Y'all keep sending those in. 803-404-6100. Let's give it a little bit of love again. Last night, South Carolina baseball knocks off North Carolina.
Softball.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, softball. Yeah, South Carolina softball knocks off North Carolina. Let's just hear the go-ahead home run in the 8th from Torrey Inslee to give Gamecocks the victory.
North Carolina, South Carolina. This one hit pretty deep and gone. A 2-run home run from the NC State transfer out of Franklin, North Carolina. And the Gamecocks have a 16-14 lead in the top of the 8th.
I think that was the hometown announce crew there.
I was going to ask, all right, we're going to get to a lot of sports, men's basketball stuff, but we're off to kind of a, do you want your announcers to be closer to Gus Johnson? Would you throw Kevin Harlan in that?
Kevin Harlan, I think Gus Johnson's in a league of his own.
Okay.
Whether you like him or not.
Do you like your announcers to be overly energetic? If that announcer right there is a 1 in terms of, now, like you said, he might have been the North Carolina broadcast. I'm not sure, but where he gives you the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Very good job, by the way, but at the same time, it's pretty monotone. Or do you like someone to be over the top? Like if you're watching what is supposed to be a Gus Johnson is a good example, or a Kevin Harlan,
sure,
or one of those guys, Dickie V. Corso was always I always correlate Corso and Dickie V as being one and the same, one for basketball, one for football. But if you're listening to a game, Tyler, do you want your announcer to be over the top excited? What's his name? Is like, he annoys me. Oh, God, he works for ESPN. I was with him in an elevator one time, and we were hanging out.
Football?
He did Tessitore, Joe Tessitore.
Oh, Joe Tess. Okay, I actually like Joe Tess a lot.
Because he gets very excited, like, to me, overly excited.
He gets overly excited, but he's not like, because I feel like Gus Johnson is the extreme end of excited, where, like, I feel like he can kind of make the moment about him a little too much sometimes. I think Joe Tess is a good balance of that, where, like, he brings the moment out a little bit more with the excitement of the call and all that, but it's not too much in my opinion. So I would lean towards being a little too much than not enough.
Okay,
but I don't want it to be like overboard.
All right, I'll throw that out there for you. Y'all are listening to an in-game announcer, because that's pretty entertaining right there. That guy, it's. Not sure whether he was the North Carolina announcer or not, but you got a very monotone but a very clear understanding of what happened, and it kind of made me think there, because you go through into what's coming up football season, and we get the different announcers and everything.
Yep.
And I do watch a lot of games with the sound on, and I'm listening, but at the same time, there's a lot of times I'll just flat mute it and kind of just go with whatever,
sure,
whatever else is on. You can send that in. Continue to send in your baseball or basketball or football players that you mimicked growing up. We got a lot of good ones coming in, and I'll continue to get to those. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. When we come back, we're going to talk about this. South Carolina makes a hire yesterday. I like the hire. There's some things about it that I have some questions, but the overriding question is, why did it take this long? Now, did it take this long because of the fact that the guy comes from the Hornets, and you allowed the season to finish out, but it's still maybe a detriment to South Carolina? I don't know. Let's get into that a little bit in terms of what South Carolina hired yesterday, what it means for the basketball program as we continue to wait. For those of you wondering, the NCAA transfer portal has officially closed. It closed yesterday, closed last night, but by closed, I mean you can't be in it now.
You can't enter into.
You can't. Yeah, you cannot.
Can still be
I'm sorry.
Wait to get taken out.
You can't. You cannot enter the portal.
There are still a lot of people in it, by the way.
Who is locked in at their team is now locked in. Who's in the portal? You can still go back to your team.
Sure, if there's a spot for you.
Just the doorway to enter has been closed. So now, like, even though he put it out, Hayden Simeon yesterday, I think we already knew this, but he put out that he was officially coming back.
Again, I thought we already had gotten that confirmation.
Well, welcome to 2026. You got to make sure. You got to have your own graphic. You got to have your own statement.
I guess it was like, bro, I wasn't worried about you leaving.
I meant to bring that up to you off air yesterday. Like, oh, okay, we've repeated the news on Hayden Simeon, but we already knew that. But Grant Polk, also earlier in the week, putting out that he was back. So we know those two guys, like, are officially back. Anybody else? And we'll talk about that. But South Carolina making a hire yesterday in men's basketball, and we'll get to that. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the Halftime Show.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing, where for over 30 years, long time, they have been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. And I talk about it every day because I think it's important in business to have great customer service. Let's be honest. You can be really good at what you do, but if you are not there for your customers, if you're not answering the phone, if you're not making sure that their needs are met, then it doesn't matter how great you are. You're offending the customer. But at Mid-State Roofing, they understand your roof is the important thing, and that's why they are there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leaks never sleep, and neither does Mid-State Roofing. So you can give them a phone call at any point during the day, 803-356-1919, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. An on-call technician will be there to answer your phone calls. That's why Mid-State Roofing has been the leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry for over 30 years. 803-356-1919. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Hey, this is Terry Ford. Got a little story time for you. If you're a business or property owner and you're needing to deter any unwanted cars from parking in your parking lots, definitely call Schroeder's Towing. They'll provide signage for your business completely free of charge. Anytime a vehicle is parked in your lot that shouldn't be, Schroeder's Towing will be there to make sure your lot stays open for your employees, customers, and tenants. Trust me, I know firsthand what happens when you ignore Schroeder's Towing signage. Just go online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Join Gamecock fans of all ages on Saturday, April 25th as you run, walk, or jog through Gamecock Park and the indoor and outdoor football practice fields for this year's Cocky Trot 5K and Fun Run and Walk. It's fun for the whole family, so don't miss out. Registration includes a commemorative race shirt and medal and access to purchase discounted football and baseball tickets. Register today at GamecocksOnline.com/CockyTrot. That's GamecocksOnline.com/CockyTrot.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. You're not feeling like yourself as you get older? You're wondering why? Don't wait for it to change or go away. Instead, see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. You'll have a one-on-one consultation that gets to the root of the issues and gets you back to feeling like you used to. No such thing as a one-size-fits-all treatment at the Men's Clinic. Call them up for a free consultation, 803-875-MENS, and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
Columbia, when you want the real Harley-Davidson experience, there's only one place to go, the Haven Harley-Davidson, Columbia's exclusive Harley-Davidson dealership. From the newest motorcycles to genuine parts, gear, and factory-trained service, everything you need to ride starts right here. No substitutes, no second choices, just the authentic Harley-Davidson experience delivered by the team that knows riders best. Whether you're gearing up for your first bike or your next big adventure, the Haven Harley-Davidson is the place that rides with you, supports you, and keeps you rolling. Visit thehavenharleydavidson.com and discover why Columbia calls us home.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Average Owls. Our chairs sit, our tables stand.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. See what Smarter Digital can do for you at cumulusdigital.com.
Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really love golf, and I think every week would be dope to post on the Golf Channel. I want to get a lot of guests on here.
Salim's going to take lead. I'm down to be in it. It's not really work to play golf.
Join the party on the golf course.
I was like, let's go to the range.
Oh.
So what are we putting on it?
We said 10K, right?
10K?
All right. We probably bet more than all the other golf channels, right?
10K, 9 holes.
Those guys bet for like cookies.
I feel like I'm going to shank it.
This guy's been trading like a Navy SEAL when it comes to golf.
I'm very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter and Tyler Head. On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
One other piece of news to share with you coming out in about the last hour for Dawn Staley and the women's basketball team. Olivia Edwards, the number 3 player in the SC Next 100 for the class of 2026, has committed to the University of South Carolina. The Gamecocks, Jordan Lee, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Transferred in from Texas last week.
And Olivia Edwards obviously is in the 2026 class. This is going to sound kind of stupid, and I don't know how to word this properly without, like, there's a sense that Dawn Staley has looked at these last 2 championship games, and it's not that she didn't take it seriously prior, Tyler.
Sure.
That's not what I guess that's what I'm not trying to mean, is that, Dawn Staley was resting on her laurels and just. But there is a sense to me that, like, Dawn's, like, looked at the UConn loss and now the UCLA loss and been like, we got to get a little bit better. And you're like, well, you're already one of the top 5 teams in the country. And Dawn's like, yeah, we got to like actually improve our roster, because I put it on Twitter a minute ago. I'm like, it's like she's taking this personally.
Sure. Well, and you see that just about every single year when they don't end the season the way they want to, of going out and addressing that need directly. They went out and they got Tanaya Latson right after the championship game a year ago, who was probably the most sought-after girl in the portal, from last year's cycle. And obviously you do lose some talent from this past year's class. You go out and get, Jordan Lee, and we'll see. I don't believe Kamora Johnson's committed anywhere yet, so there might still yet be an opportunity.
I thought I saw where maybe she was going back to Virginia.
Is she going back to Virginia? Okay, I hadn't looked, because that was the debate on, was she going to come to South Carolina? Was she going to go back to Virginia? Okay, all right, yeah. This morning, essentially, yesterday or whenever, they did announce that she's going to go back to Virginia.
This is the write-up now. Again, Edwards is a 2026 prospect, so what does that mean? It means she'll be on campus this coming fall, or earlier, I guess. She'll play with the team this coming year. She was originally committed to Tennessee. And with all the roster turnover and the things that happened at Tennessee.
Roster turnover, the entire roster left.
Well, but she requested a release from her letter of intent, and so opened her recruitment, and has chosen South Carolina. She said, I chose South Carolina because it felt like home. She's from the state of Washington. Says 6'3", standout from Washington. It's from ESPN.com. I chose South Carolina because it felt like home. Coach Staley, the staff, and the team showed me a level of love and belief that stood out. I know I'll be pushed every single day, and being surrounded by that kind of energy and support means everything to me. Edwards is a 6'3", from what I'm reading, kind of a winged player. The scouting report on her reads, let me go back to this part here, that she runs the floor with exceptional athleticism here. It says she can finish above the rim with either hand, while she has extended her range beyond the three-point line. Defensively, her length and lateral mobility allow her to guard multiple positions and impact the game on both ends of the floor. She was a McDonald's All-American who averaged 17.7 points per game and 7.8 rebounds per game on the Adidas 3 SSB circuit with the Northwest Greyhounds. So add her to the mix. If you get Ashley Watkins back, along with everybody else, who was the Chloe? How did I forget Chloe Kids? You getting them back?
Yep.
Not only is South Carolina going to have athleticism, but there's going to be a lot of height.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Tornabise?
Tornabise. She's coming back. You're going to have a ton of size on this team this year, which, again, when you look at, look at some of the struggles they had, like this season, where they went up against some big physical bigs and maybe couldn't hold their own, like the Reagan Beers, Lauren Betts, when they got in the national championship. That was an area of concern.
Going on a little bit more from this ESPN article, it does state that landing Edwards represents a major recruiting win for South Carolina as programs across the country, including Southern Cal, LSU, Florida, Texas, Louisville, and Washington, were involved in her recruitment at various stages. It goes on to say South Carolina rounds out the class along with the number 6 player in the country, Jersey Robinson, the number 19 player, Kaylee Wynn, and number 30, Kelsey Andrews, and is currently ranked the number 4 class in the country. So I'm not saying that Dawn took her foot off the gas. I'm not saying that Dawn, lost interest. What I am saying is I think much like when Caitlin Clark shrugged off Raven Johnson and South Carolina didn't have the shooters to make Iowa pay a couple years ago and Dawn reevaluated, it feels like Dawn has looked around and seen the ever-changing landscape of women's basketball and what the problem with her team is, and she's gone out and fixed it.
And that's where, these coaches that build these dynasties within college sports specifically can continue on. You look at Nick Saban, he had to adapt to the changes of college football. He didn't want to turn to offenses that were scoring 35 and 40 points a game. He wanted to grind you with defense and win the game 10-3, but he saw the way college football was going, made those changes, and continued to win at a high level. And Dawn Staley does the same thing when it comes to women's basketball. She sees where things are going, or she sees an inefficiency that her team has, and instead of digging her heels in and saying, no, this is the way that I want it to be, she goes out there and finds what she needs to make those changes to get better.
We'll see how this team this year looks, but obviously on paper, the freshman class coming in, again, as I just mentioned, number 4 in the country. You go along with adding Jordan Lee, the transfer from Texas. What you got coming back, again, in the bigger girls, especially in Chloe Kitts and Ashley Watkins. How did you say the
Tornabees?
Tornabees. Okay. All right. Yep. Tornabees. You got her coming back, and we'll see what her development looks like after half of a season and a full summer.
Yep.
Get you kind of excited. And then that flips us over to men's basketball, where we're trying to find the excitement. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic. If I am, that's fine. But you make a hire yesterday, and so it took me a minute to figure out what South Carolina hired here, but I kind of like the decision, and we'll see how it all kind of plays out. But you hire a guy coming in who will be basically a G. Now, do we see his official title?
It will not be officially called GM. We don't have an official name, but I do not, and this is per Wes and Chris, who had the story on Gamecock Central, it won't be called a general manager.
Okay.
It'll be called something, but I don't believe we have an official name. But it is a general manager type of role, which, again, is what we know that Lamont Paris had acknowledged wanting to have, going back to when he was asked about this a little over a month ago at the SEC tournament. So they've made a general manager type of hire, even if that's not what his title's going to be.
Here's the thing, in my opinion. Let me be very clear about this here. As to, by the way, as I look back, has South Carolina put out an official announcement on this?
No.
Have you seen an official announcement?
So we got an email this morning. Tomorrow there is a Board of Trustees meeting, which I imagine is going to involve approving the contract. So once that all gets squared away, I think then we'll get the announcement.
Just making sure that I have not missed something.
That's typically how these things go.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure I did not. I was looking through my email there for a second, but
apparently he's already gotten to work. Like he hasn't got the contract approved yet, but he's hard at work of doing whatever this job specifically is.
Well, it appears by all accounts that the job, what it will entail is, as you said, kind of everything from scouting to even, I hate to say this word because we all hate saying this word with college now, contract management. How do you feel right now when you hear when we talk about college basketball and you hear the words contract management?
It means retaining and evaluating your roster constantly. Because, again, these are year-to-year things, right? Now you still have, 7-ish spots you can still fill on this roster out of the transfer portal, so that's going to be part of his job. But also, and look, we don't know how these funds are dispersed throughout the year. Is it lump sums? Is it monthly payments, weekly payments, whatever? Like, having somebody that's in charge of essentially your payroll on this basketball team that, again, I'm assuming an assistant coach was handling some of those duties this past year, that you take that off their plate a little bit, allow them to focus on the basketball stuff while you handle the more front office operations.
And again, I think as we said, David Duquette comes from Charlotte. He was the Hornets front office executive. He will start as a consultant who will be involved in all aspects of the program. Now, here's what I think about this, and I'm not trying to pick on Lamont Paris this to me comes across as a Jeremiah Donati hire. So regardless of what happens to Lamont Paris, for those of you that go like, well, why would this guy leave the Hornets to join South Carolina? Like, look at the job stability for Lamont Paris. I don't think Lamont Paris is tied to David Duquette, or David Duquette is tied to Lamont. This is a Jeremiah Donati hire. And so whomever, whether it's Lamont Paris or whomever is running this program in the future, will answer or will work with David Duquette. He is more of a university hire than a basketball hire.
Yeah, and we see this a lot of the professional sports ranks, that just because, the head coach gets fired, that GM can still stay in place. And a lot of times they're in charge of helping hire the next head coach and things like that. So that's kind of thing here. Even if he's not specifically going to be called a GM, it is a GM front office type of role where he's going to take on a variety of responsibilities that, again, are needed in today's world of college sports. And, yeah, ideally you would have loved to have had him, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago to help with the front end of the transfer portal, but he's here now to help you fill out the back half where you get 6, 7, however many more guys are going to commit here out of the portal.
A little bit more on David Duquette here as to what he's been doing this past year. He was with the Hornets for 14 years. The last 2, he has been the Senior Director of Salary Cap Strategy, which, again, college basketball, you're kind of like, man, I hate to hear those words because it just shows you how much everything's changed, but it is a necessary evil that you have to deal with. He was an assistant general manager with the Hornets from 2021 through 2024, where he advised on salary cap management and player contracts and was responsible for a variety of other basketball operations manner. In a 2023 Yahoo Sports story titled Identifying the NBA's Next Wave of Front Office Executives, it was noted Duquette has also stood out to several league officials for his strategy acumen. Right. I don't know what that means, and what his acumen on what?
From a business standpoint, sounds phenomenal.
803-404-6100. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. It's the Halftime Show.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The New York Football Giants have a chance to turn their misfortunes around. Draft number 1 tonight under new head coach John Harbaugh, picking 5th and 10th overall. The one thing the Giants cannot do is draft Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. Too many holes on this roster, both on defense, the offensive line, and a wide receiver to consider drafting a running back. Love will be a great player. He would be a ridiculous pick for the G-Men. I'm Nick Costos.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Turns out, talk isn't cheap. Just talking about affordability doesn't make things affordable. Straight Talk's had the same price since 2009. Plus, their Gold plan includes a Walmart Plus membership and $20 in Walmart cash when you activate. That's more than just talk.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straightforward, always. Valid through May 17, 2026. $20 in Walmart cash for Straight Talk Gold or Platinum plan customers newly enrolling in Walmart Plus. Limit 1 per enrollment and account. Same price claim applies only to base monthly price of the $45 Straight Talk plan, beginning October 2009.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. 4, 6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Spring into deals at Lowe's and let your inner gardening guru out. Get select 1-pint annuals for $1 to start planting. Plus, get a free additional Cobalt 40-volt 2-amp-hour battery when you buy a select Cobalt 40-volt trimmer and blower combo kit for your lawn. The smell of fresh-cut grass, new plants, and weekends in the yard? It's springtime, and our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
$12:49 on your Thursday. It feels strange. No Masters excitement, no Heritage excitement, just the Zurich Classic down in New Orleans. And I got to admit, this is the week. This is what the Heritage used to be, I feel like. This is what the Heritage used to be like, where it was this laid back, and you're like,
Sure.
And it didn't really draw a lot of national attention. And now it feels like that's the Zurich Classic. Like, you're like, all right, good. A week off from golf. Yeah, boys go. I mean, they got big names playing down there. Lowry's playing with Koepka, and the Fitzpatrick brothers are playing together, and yeah, you got great. I mean, it's not like a throwaway tournament, but it does feel like good. A week without golf. All right, and then we get back to Quail Hollow and then the PGA Championship and so forth and so on.
You got to breathe at some point.
Yeah, I've kind of been like, all right, I'll watch it late this afternoon. I'll go home, throw it on the television, but there won't be a whole lot of like actual watching taking place. It'll just be background noise for me. But no golf this week. They did put out the numbers for like the television numbers for the Heritage. They were solid. Like, people are tuning in. I think golf is, again, somehow, some way, I can't really explain it, but I feel like golf is kind of having a bit of a renaissance, almost like with view. I don't really, and maybe I'm wrong on this. The numbers, I will say, the numbers for the Heritage, the Sunday, slightly, ever so slightly, were down, but they're still up compared to everything else. And there was actually an article that I read yesterday that actually pointed out that, like, it looks like golf without the NFL is taking over Sundays. Now, again, how much is on, but golf is taking over Sundays.
How much do you buy the value of what Full Swing has done for golf on Netflix? You think that's done a lot, where it's kind of brought people into learning about the personalities of golfers, seeing their life behind the scenes instead of just watching them, on the course?
I would say that any time that you can get behind the scenes of something and we can learn about people personally. I'll give you what was the NASCAR documentary that talked with Denny Hamlin on Netflix?
Full Speed.
Full Speed.
Yeah, which is essentially their version of what Full Swing. The trend started with Drive to Survive with F1, which saw their popularity in America skyrocket. Now it's taken a hit because they're on Apple TV, but it brought you behind the scenes of the personalities and the inner workings of the sport that caused a lot of people to take interest, and you saw the interest in F1 in America go up. And I think you're seeing similar things with golf and Full Swing, because, again, you get to learn more about these guys, who they are, and some of you may not like, some of you do like, because you're not just watching them on the course, you're understanding who they are as people.
According to Josh Carpenter, the RBC Heritage was the PGA Tour's second highest viewership average for 2026. The final round drew 4.35 million viewers. Now, I get it. In the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot, but when we're talking about, kind of a golf on Sunday afternoon, that's kind of pretty impressive.
And for golf, to capitalize on the momentum of what was a very compelling Masters, great storyline with Rory and obviously Scotty, making the run that he did there in the late, to capitalize on that by having a event right after it where you have a playoff come down to the end in the playoff there, I think that's a perfect opportunity to capitalize. And again, we'll see what the ratings look like going forward, but golf, when it has momentum, needs to keep capitalizing on that. And again, you can't control how the event's going to turn out, but they couldn't have asked for a better follow-up to the Masters than what they had this past weekend.
Yeah, you had good golf, obviously, all weekend. You had some key names at the top. Again, that was only behind the Players' Championship, in which Fitzpatrick lost to Cam Young. And that, let me ask you, and I know you're not a huge golf fan, there's kind of been a little bit of a debate. Matt Fitzpatrick, not from America, now the second time this year that he's been in the final round, where fans have gone against him, if you will, Cam Young and Scheffler, and have chanted USA at him, and it's been a kind of a, oh, you're not from our country.
Yeah.
He admitted after the now he talked a little trash back afterwards, good for him.
As he should.
But he did admit after the he'd taken more of a notice of it, but he said it didn't bother him. He admitted that on Sunday or Monday after the Heritage.
And I don't think it's a personal attack on him specifically. Right. It's just like, hey, you're not an American. You're going up against
for the American.
We're pulling for the American, and I think that's kind of commonplace in American sports. We obviously know what went down with the Ryder Cup and stuff like that last year. Like, it's not necessarily specifically taking a shot at that person. It's just like, hey, we're pro-America here, and I guess you don't run into that in other countries quite as much, so it can be jarring to some of those guys and then run into it, but it wasn't a direct attack on Fitzpatrick. It's just like, hey, American fans are going to cheer for the American guy, and that guy just happened to be Scotty Scheffler. I was glad he was able to have some fun with it by talking some trash back, and again, I just think that's things you're going to run into, unfortunately.
803-404-6200. The other thing we've talked about this hour, going back to a conversation we had, is who you mimicked your game. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, whatever, golf. Who you mimicked your game after. Joey went with, I tried to mimic my pitching to Ricky Vaughn.
All right.
Okay. All right. Hot, what was it? Oh, goodness.
Wild Thing.
Wild Thing.
Yeah.
Not Hot Thing, right?
Not Hot Thing.
Okay.
So did you wear 99? Did you have the glasses?
I don't know. You gotta ask him. Let's see. Marshall goes with, I was a pretty good high school baseball player and a huge Jeff Bagwell fan. I mimicked his super squatty batting stance, and it served me pretty well. All right. Super squatty batting stance. Keep sending those in. 803-404-6100 is how you can do that. Another text says, I showed up to practice one day and tried to do the Mickey Tettleton bat down, then one timing. Okay, the coach ripped me alive in front of everybody.
If it's not effective, you're probably going to get in trouble for it.
Keep sending them in. You're listening to the Halftime Show.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. We're getting there, folks. It's coming. You know it's coming. I know it's coming. It's like the big monster that's going to show up. The summer heat, oppressive, high humidity, stuff that makes you want to run inside and be in your house with a great air conditioner. Nobody keeps you safer than a great air conditioner, or nobody keeps you cooler, especially during those hot summer months. And you know what? With AAA Heating and Air, they'll do just that. They did that for the Gunner family about 5 years ago, put in a brand new train system. What stood out to me the most was the way they discussed it with us. They explained how it would save money on our energy bill, how they cleaned up afterwards, the precise and easy job they did of putting it in, and they did an absolutely fantastic job. So if you're in the market for a brand new heating and air unit, I encourage you, call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code QUOTE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code QUOTE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code QUOTE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Elijah Campbell here from The Game, here to tell you about Ecton Law Firm. If you've been having tax troubles that are bothering you or weighing you down, you don't need to let that happen any longer. Let the stresses of taxes be taken care of by the Ecton Law Firm. Set up a free consultation today at 803-771-9800. They have a local team resolving your income or business tax issues for good. At the Ecton Law Firm, they understand the challenges you or your business can face. And that's why John Ecton and his team are ready to offer you the peace of mind that you deserve. With proven local solutions, they have helped thousands of families and businesses just like yours escape the IRS maze. So take the first step to a worry-free life today by giving them a call. 803-771-9800 or visit EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Again, 803-771-9800.
Hey guys, Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central here to make sure your business and property parking lots are kept available from any unwanted cars taking up your spots with Schroeder's Towing. For instance, you're coming in hot to the game studios for your show and you park next door in an unauthorized lot with signage that was provided for free from Schroeder's Towing. Next thing you know, the show is in the books and your car is out of the lot. It really is that simple. That's a true story. Call Schroeder's today and keep those unwanted cars out of your lots. Online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Are you considering a new roof or repairs but unsure where to start? Crescent Construction offers free roofing estimates to help you make informed decisions with ease. Our expert team is ready to assess your needs and provide comprehensive insights. Visit our website, crescentcarolina.com, to learn more about our services and schedule your free estimate today. Trust us to guide you through the process with professionalism and care. Don't wait. Contact us today at crescentcarolina.com.
Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Number 2 of the halftime show, Doug Fireball Turnbull will join us coming up at 1:30, where I believe he holds a 1-point lead over me.
Oh, I need to actually calculate everything.
I believe, if just looking at it.
Thanks for reminding me.
I believe he owns a 1-point lead in our NASCAR Survivor Pick-'em challenge that we have each and every Thursday, and I've had a lot of fun doing that, so we'll catch up with him. So far today, a couple different topics. Some fun ones you can weigh in on, such as who was the player that you mimicked growing up in whatever sport, baseball, basketball, football. Tyler is going to give us some wrestling.
Yeah.
We got some wrestling in there. But who was the player that you mimicked growing up? I brought it up we were talking about lineups. Tyler last night tweeted out, go to @TylerHead18 and follow him if you don't. A lot of great content there. But he put out last night a picture. But it wasn't a video game. It was just somebody had a screenshot of an old Braves lineup.
This was a Braves lineup from like 05 or 06. I don't even remember the context of what the person was tweeting about. Like, I saw it, I'm like, man, when I think Braves, that is still the lineup that I think of. And, of course, again, you got Chipper, you got Andrew, Jeff Francoeur, Brian McCann. You had guys like Rafael Furcal, Marcus Giles, Ryan Langerhans, Adam LaRoche, like these names that you probably hadn't thought about in a long time. But when I think Braves, like, I still think about that lineup of guys as, like, my core memory of that team.
Whatever it was, it went top to bottom. Furcal, Giles, Jones, Chipper, Andrew, Adam LaRoche, Jeff Francoeur, Ryan Langerhans, Brian McCann, and Jorge Sosa was pitching that night.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody hit Michael Beckham, hit us back, and or hit you back, hit us back in it. And he said his was Otis Nixon, Terry Pendleton, Fred McGriff, Jeff Blauser, Rafael Belliard, Javi Lopez, Ron Gant, and David Justice. And it was just fun to go down that path last night of former Braves that I think takes us back to an older era, a TBS era. By the way, I've seen more now that we got Braves Vision. And I have one complaint. And let me ask y'all, I'm going to use this a personal second. And it might be my TV. And that's what I'm asking. 803-404-6100. When I go to watch a game on this Braves Vision, I am not being allowed, if I get into it and it's in the second inning, and I hit, so we're watching on Spectrum right now, I believe. Is that right?
That's correct.
That right?
Yep.
Okay. But I'm streaming it through the MLB app, which is where I've got it. And so when I hit, if it's in the second inning or third inning, when I hit and go to watch it, it's regardless, it's not giving me the option to watch live, watch now.
Okay.
I have to start at the very beginning of the pregame show, but then if it's in the second or third inning, I have to fast forward all the way to that. But does it happen for anybody else? Does anybody else have that? Like, does it take you directly
now, is this through the ESPN app that you're doing this?
This is strictly, I go through the MLB app.
Okay. Is there a way to do it through the ESPN app?
I haven't
with
looked.
Braves Vision?
I haven't.
Because again, I got it on Spectrum, so I'm not doing this on the streaming side of things because, like, I think if you do it through the ESPN app, it's always going to give the option to watch live or start at the beginning where you can, fast forward and stuff like that. But that is odd.
It's a little annoying because I have to fast forward all the way to where they're at in the game. I don't know if anybody else is doing that. I have a couple different. I have a Samsung, a TCL, Insignia. I think we're not well sponsored at the Gunner household by one particular TV brand. But I don't know if anybody else is having to deal with that as well. That's the only complaint. Braves Vision's turned out they've got. I say it helps when you're winning, right?
Sure,
it helps when you're winning. They win last night 8-6. They've got a little product there, and I'm glad to see baseball doing this.
Yeah,
I like what the Braves have all of a sudden kind of become at the forefront of what they're doing, how all the money is being distributed and where it's working out and everything. Kudos to them. I questioned this a lot in March when it came out and wondered how it was going to play out. It's turned out that it's playing out exceptionally well, I think.
Yeah, no, it's going really good. And, again, it's pretty much just the entire staff of the FanDuel Sports Network that's moved over to Braves Vision. But I like the presentation. Again, it's got kind of everything that you kind of want to ask for. And they got a pregame and a postgame show. And I've had no complaints about it so far.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. Of course, again, it helps tremendously when you're winning, but no doubt a lot. It's really cool for me. Joey says the same for me, very annoying, so I'm glad that I'm not the only one with that. David weighs in and says, I tried to model my baseball swing after Chipper Jones.
Okay.
He made it look so easy on television, so we'll get to that. 803-404.
There's a reason he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. One of the many. And then Bill, same on YouTube TV. Wait, is the Braves on YouTube TV?
I think they have an agreement with multiple, like, streaming television providers. I think YouTube TV is one of them, like Fubo, a couple others.
Tim, let me know if they're on YouTube TV. That'll save me $19.99 a month, given that I have that. 803-404-6100. Last night, let's give them a little bit of love. Softball team goes to Chapel Hill and knocks off North Carolina 16-14, a thriller. And, again, I'm kind of reading this on the internet. Obviously, if you've been paying attention, South Carolina softball not having a very good year in the SEC. Now, Tyler, we've talked about this. The SEC, maybe volleyball, maybe gymnastics. I don't know. But if we were to look at all the sports top to bottom, and we always talk about the difficulty of the SEC in football, even though the Big Ten's now won a couple championships in a row, SEC softball is truly second to none. So despite the fact that South Carolina right now is 5-13 in conference, they're still, and they have a very difficult schedule, they're top 30 RPI, they still have a great opportunity for the NCAA tournament. And to go win over North Carolina last night, who is another very good team, very important to their NCAA tournament hopes.
Yeah, and with the win last night. So looking at the latest, bracketology for softball. This was prior to last night's game. They were looking at being a 2 seed as of right now and having to go out and play UCLA in the Los Angeles Regional, which will be a rematch of them obviously playing here in Columbia, a year ago. So again, you're despite the fact their conference record hasn't been great, they did get the sweep this past weekend on the road, or got the series win this past weekend on the road at Missouri, which is really big. They're still in good position when it comes to the postseason, obviously trying to improve on that seeding as much as they can.
Let's hear last night, Tori Inslee with a go-ahead home run in the 8th.
North Carolina, South Carolina. This one hit pretty deep and gone. A 2-run home run from the NC State transfer out of Franklin, North Carolina. And the Gamecocks have a 16-14 lead in the top of the 8th.
That ruined his day.
Extra dagger, by the way, that it came from an NC State transfer to knock off North Carolina. So a good win for the women last night. Ashley Chastain Woodard, they take on Missouri this coming weekend. Missouri comes in 25-24 overall, 7-11 in conference.
Ashley Chastain Woodard, by the way, going to join us tomorrow morning at 11:30 on the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. We'll get her thoughts on everything that transpired last night, obviously where her team stands, and them as they get ready for another huge test this weekend against Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M. I said Missouri. Texas A&M is who they have this weekend. They beat Missouri last weekend, 5-2, lost 5-0, and beat them 4-0 in the game. Texas A&M here in Columbia this weekend. As a matter of fact, just FYI to y'all, Friday night's game, tomorrow night's game will be on ESPN2. So you won't have to go streaming and scanning for that. So if you want to check that out. Also, news of the day, South Carolina women's basketball. Dawn Staley lands the number 3 player in the 2026 class. Now, why do I emphasize that? I mean, she'll be on campus this fall. Olivia Edwards, a 6'3" athletic wing from the state of Washington, had gotten out of her NIL, or excuse me, her NLI, her National Letter of Intent.
Yes, because those still exist.
Those still exist. She got out of her commitment and her NLI that was destined for Tennessee and ended up choosing South Carolina. Hank hit me up and said that it moved South Carolina to number 1 in the ESPN Top 25 recruiting rankings. I'll check into that. The article I read still had them it specifically still had them at number 4. But again, it does feel like Dawn Staley going out. I don't want to put her down and say like, oh, she's more aggressive now. Oh, she's learned her lesson. That's not true. But it does feel like Dawn Staley's kind of looking around and being like, man, we're not having this in the championship game anymore.
Yeah, and again, that's where you give her credit for always being willing to adapt, going out there, addressing what they need. And like we said earlier, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches now with what you have on this roster, particularly when it comes to bigs that are going to prove very beneficial for you next year.
803-404-6100. The other news of the day, South Carolina men's basketball, this is from yesterday, but hired David Duquette, and no official title yet. He will not be an assistant coach. He will be in more of a GM-type role, maybe even associate basketball AD, if you will. We will get an official word maybe tomorrow. As Tyler said, they're having a board meeting tomorrow. This has been reported by Gamecock Central, also confirmed by the university sources, and Duquette comes down here. Now, we got a text in, and I'll ask you this.
Okay.
Let me go back to the text here and say this is no name. I feel like the University of South Carolina is he says foaming. I think it means I don't know, but is throwing his nose at our fans. How are we supposed to get excited over bringing in someone from an organization that has only had 4 winning seasons in 14 years? They are notoriously known for overpaying for role players. Nothing about his resume from Charlotte gets me excited as a fan. I'm not going to lie, Texter. There's nothing. If you're getting excited over this hire, boy, are you focused on all the wrong things. Like, this guy's here for a multitude of different reasons. He's not coaching. He's not recruiting. Maybe he's making suggestions. Maybe he's trying to balance a budget, if you will. This is not the guy you get excited about, nor do you really care about. Like, he is going to have an influence on the program, but at the end of the day, it's on Lamont Paris. It's on Bob Dunwell Jr. It is on Tanner Bronson and whoever the third assistant is or whoever the next coach is to get that program right. Not David Duquette. David Duquette is going to have a behind the scenes like, hey, this is how we should function our money. At the end of the day, he is not the final voice.
If next year's season goes off the rails and it's another bad year, and we're talking about Lamont Paris, being fired, we're probably not going to be pointing at David Duquette and be like, he's the reason why this season went off the rails.
No offense to you, Texter, and thank you for listening and being a part of the program. I do appreciate it. But it also reminds me of, like, the anger everybody had. I think it was last year when Shane Beamer hired Jeff Collins to come be like the graduate assistant linebacker coach. Everybody's like, oh, my God, look at what he did at Georgia Tech. And you're like, dude, he's here.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to help in a capacity, but he's not the one making the defensive play coordinator calls. He's not the one making the final decisions. He's not the one, like, really, like, worried about the depth chart. He is here for a specific reason, and that's exactly what David Duquette is, and it's behind-the-scenes role that will have little bear. Look, either Lamont coaches, either they've already landed some players and they're going to land a few more that can help, and Lamont's going to coach them up, and they're going to be a much better team next year, and Lamont will get year 6, or they're not, and it's time to go house hunting again. It's time to go coach searching.
Yeah, so that doesn't fall on David Duquette.
No.
In fact, we're going to forget about him more likely than not after a while. Like, oh, yeah, he's that guy that's in that front office role, whatever we're going to call it.
803-404-6100. Beth from Lamar tells me we get the Braves on YouTube TV. Please tell me what channel. I'm learning through y'all.
So, I learned with Spectrum, I have to scroll down really far because, like, the Braves vision is hidden in the 300s, and I wouldn't have known that Spectrum had it if I hadn't just been randomly scrolling through the 300s one day a week before the season started. Okay. So you might just be looking in the wrong place.
Y'all might be helping me here because I got to be honest. This saves me $19.99 a month if they indeed have it, and my renewal is coming up within a week. Rich, I just want to acknowledge I see your text message. I'm not going to read it on air, but that's a clever one. I'm just going to acknowledge.
Okay.
All right. I just want you to know I saw it. It's funny. You got a giggle out of me. Not going to share that one, though. We're going to try and keep our job around here. Mike Dawkins goes with the Braves lineup from my day. This is an old one. Okay. You got me. Claudell Washington, Glenn Hubbard, I recognize that name, Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, got those names, Chris Chambliss, Brad Kaminsky, Bruce Benedict, Rafael Ramirez, I actually remember that name, and Lynn Barker is the pitcher.
I know the names, never got to see any of them play.
All right, there you go. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this afternoon. And Carson weighs in with crazy story from Vermont, was an all-state. Carson's from Vermont, was an all-state shortstop in high school, modeled my game after the flashy style of Pokey Reese, even wore number 3 because of him. Never knew he was from Columbia, and actually found out the other day that my friend is his cousin.
Well, how about
good story. Old Pokey
Weird
Reese.
that never came up.
803-404-6100. We'll come back, get into a little bit of NFL draft tonight, and maybe a good little why the pick number 57 is maybe the most important. Tyler will explain that one. You're listening to the Halftime Show.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
We have a new way for you to call the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Just dial pound 250, and when prompted, punch in the keywords, the game. And that's it. Again, pound 250 with the keywords, the game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
If your lawnmower's sat all winter, you're running out of time to get it ready for spring. Now for a limited time, Cato's Power Equipment is offering special spring service pricing with push more tune-ups starting at $100 and zero-turn services starting as low as $200. Let Cato's get your equipment tuned up and ready for the mowing season ahead. Need help getting your mower to us? Pickup and delivery starts at just $50. Don't wait. Call or stop by Cato's Power Equipment today and get your mower ready before the grass takes over. Visit CatosPowerEquipment.com.
I went through some challenges growing up. Sports was my outlet.
Tonight, the NFL Draft is live on ABC.
Really, that's what football's all about. The fans, your teammates, and family.
Be there when the next generation of legends steps into the spotlight. Touchdown! Hosted by Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban, Desmond Howard, and the College Game Day crew, who will write their name into NFL history. Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Tonight at 8 on ABC Columbia, Channel 25.
Hi, I'm ABC Columbia Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
And I'm Good Morning Columbia meteorologist Tyler Ryan. From the sun up
to sun up the next day. We're dedicated to bringing you the most up-to-date and accurate weather information.
Our forecasts are designed with you in mind, so that you're prepared for whatever the weather throws your way.
And when severe weather strikes, we'll be on the air to keep you safe and keep you informed through every storm.
Watch ABC Columbia Weather on the air or on the ABC Columbia app.
Sponsored by Woodman Life, protecting hardworking families with life insurance.
Every hardworking American deserves to leave a legacy, regardless of their paycheck. We offer life insurance policies for a variety of budgets. Protect your family and your legacy. Get a quote at woodmanlife.org. Woodman Life is the brand name for Women of the World Life Insurance Society in Omaha, Nebraska. Ad number A0138.
The Haven Harley-Davidson 4-day spring event runs April 23rd through 26th. Thursday kicks off with Grill and Chill. Friday brings an 80s themed Back to Bike Night. Saturday features a bike and car show, plus a sound-off competition. And Sunday wraps up with Family Fun Day. Check out the new 2025 Street Glide Ultra with 0 down, 2.99% APR for 36 months and up to $2,000 in customer cash on select models. It's all at the Haven Harley-Davidson. Discover more at thehavenharley.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Gamecock fans, are you ready? This is your shot to meet the future of South Carolina football. QB1, Lenora Sellers, live Saturday, May 2nd, 11 to 12:30, only at Gamecock Traditions. Tickets, just $10. That's right, $10 gets you an autograph and $10 off your gear. But listen up, only 250 tickets. No walk-ups, no outside items. When they're gone, they're gone. This will sell out, so don't get left out. Lock in your spot now and meet Lenora Sellers live. Vista Roofing, your local CertainTeed Select Shingle Master. Looking for a roof that's built to last? Trust the certified experts at Vista Roofing for professional installation, top-tier materials, and peace of mind backed by industry-leading warranties. From repairs to full replacements, Vista Roofing delivers durable results and exceptional service. Call now or visit VistaRoofingINC.com to schedule your free estimate. Vista Roofing, raising the standard one shingle at a time. Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter and Tyler Head. On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
NFL draft tonight. Just doesn't have that juice. Doesn't have that energy. We know Fernando Mendoza's going number 1. It doesn't feel like South Carolina has a lot of prospects. There's 3 that we're kind of watching, maybe a 4th if you want to count Rasul Faison. And I'm not a huge draft guy, right? But normally first round, I'm intrigued. I'll go out of my way to have it on. I'm gonna, again, I'm kind of watching. I have maybe more attention going somewhere else, but I have it on. I'm not feeling it. I'm not buying it this year. And I don't know if that's just me.
I think it has a lot to do with how many skill position players are thought to be high picks. Like, we know Fernando Mendoza is going to go number 1 overall, but past that, there's a realistic possibility there may not be another quarterback selected in the first round, though Ty Simpson has a good chance of going late in the first round to someone like the Steelers if they decide to go the quarterback route. You got Jeremiah Love, you got Carnell Tate, guys like that, but I feel like we're not as deep in the skill position guys that are going to be going first round. You've got a lot of guys playing edge and linebacker and cornerback and stuff like that. Some of the less sexy positions when it comes to watching the NFL draft that, again, some people are really into, but the casual casual viewer, maybe not so as much.
Does it draw you? Or like, is there something that you look tonight? You kind of just mentioned that with the different positions. Is there something you're attracted to? Something, a storyline that maybe nobody else has that you're involved in?
I look at things like, okay, the Giants have 2 top 10 picks, right? After they made the trade with Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals the other night, what are they going to do with that? Because I feel like that kind of sets the tone for what the John Harbaugh era is going to start out with and all that kind of stuff. My team, the Falcons, they only have a first-round pick because I otherwise would have been interested in that unless they trade into the first round, which I don't think is going to happen. The Ty Simpson thing's interesting too because, again, he's thought of as quarterback number 2, and there's debates like, is this guy good enough to be a starter? Are you willing to take him with a first round, or do you drop him into the second round or something like that? So kind of seeing how that plays out is going to be interesting, but there aren't as many like huge storylines, I feel like, compared to maybe in years past.
Yeah, there's just not an attraction, and it feels, you never know, it takes one team to love you, but it feels like what's happened here also is that Cisse has fallen out of the first round, which maybe if you're a South Carolina, if you're just a casual and you were looking for a South Carolina guy, a reason to really watch and see where Cisse would go, it feels like it's not going to be until tomorrow night, which will be Friday night, which you probably got other plans than sitting down and watching rounds 2 and 3. But it's hard to get really excited about this draft. Also, when your team, for a lot of you, University of South Carolina, Clemson's got a couple guys, Peter Woods, Avion Terrell, in particular, that stand out. I'm trying to think of the one other player that I'm blanking on for Clemson that's expected to be a top 2 or 3 round player. But I think it's hard when South Carolina, you're like, all right, well, Jalen Kilgore is going to go tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Nick Barrett really is kind of is probably going to go. I'd lean toward him going more than he won't. And then in the very late rounds, maybe just based on potential, although age is a problem. Rasul Faison is kind of out there. But other than that, I think it's hard if your team is not producing players for you to really get involved with.
Like last year, there was legitimate interest of, hey, Nicky Morey's got a really good shot at being a first-round pick, and again, just barely missed out on that by being taken early in the second round. And again, the year prior, you've had the run of 6 guys that got drafted the year prior, so a lot of interest throughout that entire draft. The year before that, Xavier Legette went on to become a first-round pick, so you've had a lot of reasons to really sink your teeth into the draft the past couple of years from a Carolina standpoint, and this year, a little bit lighter. Again, could Cisse be a back half of the first-round guy? Sure. Is it going to happen? Yeah, probably not, based on a lot of the projections as of late. You'll still keep an eye on it to see, but I don't think anybody's banking on that right now.
All right, the pick number 57 now, all of a sudden, might actually be the most important pick of the draft. Depends on your opinion. It's a big opinion here. Boy, you talk about an off-season topic. Big opinion. What is going on with the number 57 pick?
So Heinz Ketchup has partnered with Devin Hester, who is the 57th overall pick in the 2006 NFL draft. Of course, he's gone on to be an NFL Hall of Famer now. Pick number 57 will be awarded a custom ketchup red jacket and a lifetime supply of Heinz Ketchup. If I ever had to choose the spot to be drafted in, it would be 57 because I'm a massive Heinz Ketchup fan.
Okay, all right, so that brings us to the question. How many people are ketchup fans? Now, I'll eat some like a hamburger, hot dog. Other than that, like chicken tenders, no thank you.
Yeah.
Some fries, yes.
I'm also a ketchup snob, too.
Yeah. So ketchup is one of your things.
One thing to know about me, listen, I do not deviate. It is Heinz Ketchup or nothing else. Don't give me Hunt's. Don't give me a store brand. Store brands have too much water in them, by the way. It's Heinz or nothing else.
Are y'all that much of a catch? 803-404. All right, so let me ask you that. 803-404-6100. So good. I'm glad we're having this conversation today on ketchup, or that we've started this 2-minute conversation. Last night, Austin, or maybe 2 days ago, Austin wanted some food or whatever. I made mention, he goes, where's the ketchup? And I said, well, actually, I think we have one in the fridge, would be cold ketchup, and we have one in the pantry that's been opened. That one. He goes, well, I'll probably get the one out of the fridge. Does it have to be cold, or do you need, is room temperature okay?
I'm fine with either one. I keep my ketchup in the fridge, and I think that's what the bottle actually says you're supposed to do.
Then there's a lot of restaurants who need to reevaluate.
If at any restaurant you go to, it's going to be sitting there on the table, or they're going to bring you a bottle that's been sitting out or whatever, and to my knowledge, I've never gotten sick from it, so I'm fine with it, but I prefer it to be cold. Like, again, that's what I do with my bottles of ketchup. That being said, I used to keep a bottle in my car, so there was no refrigerating that. And again, never got sick from it. But yeah, I'm very particular when it comes to ketchup.
Oh, wow. Get a bottle in his car. Well, kudos to the number 57 pick. For me, for the Gunner side of things, I don't know if I'd be really overly thrilled about that, but kudos to whoever gets picked number 57. That'll be tomorrow night.
Yes.
We'll come back to that tomorrow a little bit for a second, reevaluate catch-up options, but put that on your list of homework for tonight. How much of it, are you a ketchup snob? Do you love ketchup on everything? I know people put ketchup on eggs. I'm like, you're disgusting. We'll get into that a little bit more tomorrow. 803-404-6100. The boys head to Talladega. That's really the first track I really ever heard of. Thank you, Eric Church, for the Talladega song. But we will talk with Doug Fireball Turnbull when we come back. You're listening to the Halftime Show.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
South Carolina head baseball coach Paul Maneri has been let go. Monty Lee is the interim coach, and possible candidates are already emerging.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We're in week 11, and we're already talking about jobs. What a world we're in.
Keep it here on The Game as we follow every rumor. Girlfriend.
No fluff. No filler.
That's good enough for me.
Your home of all Gamecocks gossip. 107.5 The Game and The Game Network.
Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing. Let me tell you something. Mid-State Roofing has been there helping families just like yours and mine, helping their business or their home stay dry and running for over 30 years, where they have been the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. And it doesn't matter where you are listening this afternoon. You could be listening down in Myrtle Beach, maybe over in Charleston. How about Florence, Greenville, Spartanburg? Anywhere in this phenomenal state that we get to live in each and every day, you can be listening, and Mid-State Roofing is there to help you. And I don't want you to wait until a leak happens. I want you to be proactive. I'm kind of barking at you a little bit here. Be proactive. Call Mid-State Roofing today and line up a maintenance contract. That way, when a leak does happen, you've got somebody ready to take your back, help you out. 803-356-1919. Again, it's 803-356-1919. Call Mid-State Roofing today and tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Join the Lexington Health Foundation on Friday, May 1st at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center for the McDaniels Gala. Dress your black tie best and enjoy delicious food, open bars with signature cocktails, specialty tasting rooms, exciting auctions, fun photos, and more. Proceeds benefit the McDaniels Pucci Cancer Fund to support patients and families at Lexington Health Cancer Center from diagnosis to survivorship. Purchase your tickets today at lexhealth.com/McDaniels Gala.
Hey, this is Terry Ford. Got a little story time for you. If you're a business or property owner and you're needing to deter any unwanted cars from parking in your parking lots, definitely call Schroeder's Towing. They'll provide signage for your business completely free of charge. Anytime a vehicle is parked in your lot that shouldn't be, Schroeder's Towing will be there to make sure your lot stays open for your employees, customers, and tenants. Trust me, I know firsthand what happens when you ignore Schroeder's Towing signage. Just go online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Visit callAAAtoday.com to schedule an appointment. Tell them Preston on the Game sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Ray and Nathan with Pope Davis Tire and Automotive.
Last year's Technician Bikini Car Wash was a huge success.
But, unfortunately, Grease Lightning and Piston Pete left us for jobs at the club.
Don't worry, if you are feeling hot, we can still cool you down.
By fixing your car's AC for 30% less than the dealership charges.
And we have an $80 rebate on any set of Michelin or BF Goodrich tires until May 23rd.
Cool down online at PopeDavisTire.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Race is on down the backstretch, Mike. Toyota Chevy up front. Here comes Briscoe with their sport tires, third on the inside, digging hard. Reddick slides up in front of Larson, and the pole sitter is going to come to the line for win number 5.
What a great job by Tyler Reddick.
Welcome back in. Halftime show. Tyler Head, Bill Gunner, Captain Dave, along with you here on the game. Captain Dave efforting to get our guy Doug Turnbull on the phone, so we'll wait to talk to him in just a moment. But, yeah, you heard it right there. Call from Fox Sports on Sunday is once again, for the 5th time in the first 9 races, Tyler Reddick wins the NASCAR Cup Series race. This one a little bit more eventful. Had to survive a late restart there in overtime to edge Kyle Larson on the last lap. But, man, what a start to a season Reddick's having. Still waiting on Doug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you were talking. I just walked back in. No, I asked you the other day, or when we walked in, I was like, "That's what? It's 5 out of 9." Yeah. This is unprecedented. Is that fair?
So I believe it was Dale Earnhardt back in 1980. I want to say. Let me double check on that. But this kind of stuff to start a season is very, very rare.
Yeah, to me, the casual. Like, you're not supposed to win races like this.
Right.
This is not the norm. And to a casual like me, I'm like, is this on track? Doug, we're talking Tyler Reddick. Welcome in this afternoon. Is Tyler Reddick on track for on track? I didn't do that on purpose. No pun intended. for one of the greatest years ever in the history of NASCAR?
These things tend to even themselves out. Good afternoon to you guys. I don't know that I would extrapolate this over 36 races and say, okay, well, we've done 5 races in the first 9, so that means he's going to win 20 races, if I have the number correct. I just don't think that's possible, considering the modern era record is 13 by Jeff Gordon in 1998, and then you got to go back to I think it's 1967 or around there when Richard Petty won. I think it was 27 races of the season, somewhere in that era before the modern era, to get the actual record. But I don't see that, just because everything's so similar, and whatever they're hitting on, if NASCAR finds out what it is, there's a lot of conjecture, such as people that try to relate it to the trial, that NASCAR is letting them win somehow as some sort of fallout from the antitrust suit last year. I think the opposite. I think that if they find out that they're hitting on a gray area, they're probably going to have to not do that anymore. So I would say that things even out, and these go through phases. Certainly the most recent season in memory that we've seen something like this is when Kyle Larson won 10 races 5 years ago, but that was the last year of the Gen 6 car. We've seen other teams pop off and win a few races in a short time as well, namely Kyle Busch early in 2023. And he actually said in his big interview he did with Sean Hannity this week that NASCAR told him to stop coming to the track with something in the gray area that was legal, and since then he's been over. So I think that the law of averages will pan out, and certainly you'll see, whether it's Denny Hamlin or William Byron or Kyle Larson or someone else go up and start getting some more trophies.
He's right about that. And you're even looking at, because, again, Denny Hamlin was in position to maybe win the race before that, last caution came out that forced overtime. Kyle Larson's been leading a ton of laps, came up 1 spot short on Sunday. So you got other guys that are kind of nipping at his heels, but he is getting the better of them when it comes to the end of the race. Obviously 5 out of the first 9. But, yeah, it's not like there's this huge gap right now. They're just, again, kind of getting it done towards the end of these races, having luck on their side like the super speedways at Daytona and Atlanta certainly goes a long way too. But Doug's right. As the season goes along, we're only a fourth of the way through it right now. It will start to even out, and not that the 45 car is going to start running bad, but I think you'll see a lot of other teams start to be in the mix for winning races as we get into the summer stretch too, and make that run towards the chase coming up in the fall.
Let me ask both of you this. I'm going to give you a counter argument. Y'all say that y'all both like shrug it off like, well, it's only been a quarter of the season. I look at it the other way. It's been a quarter of the season.
Yeah.
Like, how do we know? At what point do you two, I'm asking that, I'm not saying this in a mean way, at what point do you two accept that, hey, this dude might have something dominant here right here that's going to continue?
I think he'll be dominant. I just don't think it's going to be at the same clip. It's hard to expect anybody in this era to do 20 races. I want to say, though, if it happened, I'm not totally against it if this happens every once in a while. You know, as much as it was boring a few years ago to see Max Verstappen win all but 2 races in the F1 season, was that 2023? When does that ever happen? So, I mean, if a record or something's going to be set, I'm all for it. But I need to really see it to believe it, you know, and a quarter of the season, granted, we're 2 months in, right? But I don't see that extrapolated, times 4, that it's going to be the same rate. Well, especially given the flukiness of a couple of the wins, too, super speedway and that kind of thing.
Right. And what makes this really interesting is, regardless of how big of a points lead he accumulates in the first 26 races, if he is the points leader after race number 26, that margin streaks down to 25 points over second place when you have the reset to start the chase. So he's going to have to go out there and put together still a really good final 10 races if he wants to obviously win the championship. And again, great start to the season. But again, when you look at Chevy still figuring out their body, and again, you got guys like Larson leading a lot of laps, William Byron running well. Those guys are going to be the next ones to victory lane, probably coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Hamlin's in position to win races, pretty much every single week. So, yeah, again, the luck's been a little bit more on the side of Tyler Reddick, which you do need to have a great season. But, I'm with Doug. I think this will start to even out. And it's going to be interesting to see as we go through the second quarter of the season, as we get to the halfway point by race number 18, if Reddick wins any of those races, how many of he wins, and if that things start to even out a little bit over that stretch.
Your thoughts? Did we lose Doug?
Nope.
All right, let's get him back.
We're having phone problems again.
Let's get Doug. Let's get Doug back, and we'll talk. Thanks. I felt bad if I'd missed your question on
No.
listening.
It's all good.
Thought we were going to Doug on that.
I don't know. We're having phone problems, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll get to Doug here back in just a minute. We may carry him over for an extra segment so that we can get his full thoughts this afternoon on Talladega coming up. Tyler, I'll admit to you, Talladega, to me, the casual.
Mm-hmm.
First race I was ever really familiar with. And then I don't want to say I developed an affinity for Talladega because of this, but when I would drive to South Carolina, Alabama games, drive to Tuscaloosa.
You see it right off I-20.
I would see it right there. Go back. We got Doug back. Doug, I don't know if you heard how much of Tyler's question you were able to hear.
I did not. I hear you talk about Talladega, though. So I'm in Lake Bled, Slovenia, by the way. So not great phone service right now.
We've been having some phone problems. So
I'm sorry.
That might have been on our end.
Where?
Yeah, I'm in Slovenia. Yes, I'm on vacation with my wife, and I just actually jumped up for dinner, and I was like, "Oh man, I got my call."
I should have checked with you about that beforehand. I apologize.
No, I'm to invite y'all too, but I didn't hear the question. But Talladega's crunk, yes.
It is, and again for Bill. And at what point did you become aware of Talladega, Bill? Let me ask you that question. Like when did that?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
South Carolina I went to Alabama South Carolina game in Tuscaloosa in 2000. We went over there, and I remember passing it with my father. I was going with my father that year. That was Holtz's second year. We lost the game. We were undefeated, but I remember hey. What is that? And he's like, it's Talladega.
Yeah.
And from that point, I always had you just like, oh man, it's a monster stadium. Look at all that area to tailgate, and then you learn what it really was.
And Doug, and we can extend this out to Daytona now that Atlanta, that it's a super speedway type drafting track too. These are the perfect type of races to take people or show people that haven't really had any interest in the sport, because you do have pack racing. For the people that enjoy it, you do typically have a lot of wrecks, close finishes, those kind of things. It is the true, more entertaining type of racing that the casual fan can get into, like this weekend.
There's always spooky stuff in the air at Talladega. And, Talladega's, if you go back to some of the weird voodoo that's happened there, it's also the track where, Bobby Isaac, a champion in the early 70s, pulled off of the racetrack at the height of his career mid-race because voices in his head told him that he didn't need to be out there racing anymore. And, and ironically, he died in a crash later on a short track later, in his career, after getting spooked out of a race car. So there's all sorts of stuff, but also, too, to fans going, it's everything around it, and I don't mean going out there and just being a hooligan and all that stuff, but just everything there is a little bit bigger, and it's one of those elite places. Put it up there with Bristol and Daytona, and the new Atlanta, and and I would even maybe mention a couple other tracks too. The Coke 600 weekend in Charlotte, as places that just jump off the calendar, and they pop to the eye too. But certainly, there's always something weird that goes on with the Talladega finish, and usually that's a product of the pack racing.
And real quick, before we make our picks here, this weekend we're going to see some adjustment to the stage length. Stage 1 going to be 98 laps, and then 45 for Stage 2 and 45 for Stage 3 to try and combat some of the fuel saving that's been going on at super speedways these past couple of years, to encourage more straight-up hard racing as opposed to guys saving their fuel for track position. We'll see how that works. There are discussions of changes in the offseason to the package, trying to alleviate that a little bit too. But the first step NASCAR's taking to try and change that a little bit for the Cup Series this weekend.
Yeah, I think that the teams are still going to find a way. If it's as hard to pass as it has been out there, they're still going to find a way to leapfrog people using short pit stops. So that maybe that it might make the first stage a clunker and maybe make things a little better toward the finish, because the time where people complained the most was at the beginning of Stage 3 and the Daytona 500 and other races, because that stage is longer and you have, at least one pit stop in the middle of the stage, right? So I think that I think that it's going to do something to make the finish better, but people want the overall product to be good. If you can't pass, which they're going to work on stuff in the off season, they've already said they're going to try to do some Daytona preseason testing potentially to make the cars pass better. You got to work on that more than the pit stops, I think, to figure it out, because teams will science this out.
So with that, we'll get into our picks. This past week, Bill won out of the group. You got second with Kyle Larson. We actually all did really well, because Doug had third with Chase Briscoe. I brought up the rear with Bubba Wallace, finishing in the fifth spot. By the way, Kyle Larson, average finish for all three of us. Now we've all picked him fourth. So we've done really well with Larson. He is off the board for the rest of the year. None of us can pick him. I came in last, so I will get the first pick this time around. I'm going to go with Noah Gragson this weekend at Talladega. 3 career top 5 finishes. Again, crapshoots when we talk about super speedways, so I'm going to go with Noah Gragson. Doug, you are next.
All right, give me a 2-time Talladega winner, since we're going to have to, we're not going to pick.
Oh, did we lose him again? I'll follow up with him about what his pick is in the break here.
Find out.
Bill, how about you?
All right. Give me, boy, I hope he doesn't take it. I'm going to go with the last 6 races. This guy's finished within the top 10, 3 of them. Now, they've all come consecutively, 9th, 8th, and 4th. Plus, he's got a first place of victory back in October of 2021. He's boom or bust here. The other, I said 6, 3 out of 6. The other 3,
okay.
28th, 23rd, and 36th. But again, last 3 races, 9th, 8th, 4th, Bubba Wallace.
Okay, go Bubba Wallace. If he has Bubba Wallace, I'll ask you for a different pick.
We'll come back,
but I'll check with him in the break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the hour. It's the halftime show here on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Since that win at Clemson by the Gamecocks, things haven't gone well. And when things don't go well, it's time to look back on the days when things were well. Yeah, let's spin back to the good old days on the Game Network.
Line drive, right field, base hit. South Carolina wins the College World Series.
Sellers in the pocket. Up in the pocket, gonna run inside the 20, 10. Lenore Sellers going left side, 5. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown. Touchdown, Lenore Sellers. From 20 yards out, the Gamecocks take the lead at Death Valley.
Now that's some good feels right there. From 107.5 The Game and The Game Network.
Is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Well, it's finally over. After 12 games, yes, 12 games, the Mets have won a ball game. Now, they did only play the Minnesota Twins, who are, they were sellers last year, so it's not really a team. But anyways, they still won a game, guys. But they were gracious enough to hand off their skid to the Philadelphia Phillies. Philly now drops their 8th in a row, which kind of proves, hey, we got some trouble over in the NL. I'm Addie Bates.
What's up, Boost? Main event Jey Uso here from the WWE. When it's just me between matches, it's day one-ish. And that means it's Chumba time. With hundreds of casino-style games and new titles arriving weekly, there's always something fresh to try at Chumba Casino. The Daily Boost make it even more fun. And have me about to get them all during my downtime. Ready for a fun way to chill out and enjoy a few minutes for yourself? Let's Chump.
Sponsored by BGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in the state where it's legal to play.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter and Tyler Head. On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Thank you, as always, to the one and only Doug Turnbull for joining us each and every Thursday. The NASCAR Survivor Challenge Pick-Em. And I'll tell you what, I'll just put this out there, too. We're looking for a sponsor for that. You want to get your name on the radio, get your name out, get your business out a little bit?
We're only a fourth of the way through the season.
You can get your name in.
I did apologize again for bothering him on his vacation. I didn't know.
At least you bothered him at like dinner time. It'd be a lot different if you'd have bothered him like if he was somewhere on the West Coast.
Right.
Of course, at 1:30 it'd be
people like to sleep in.
Well, that's my point. Or if it was somewhere else.
I didn't get a chance to update our standings, by the way. Doug is leading with 25 points. You are now in second with 23, and I'm bringing up the rear in 21. See, we're having these wild swings week to week. This is what I envisioned when I created this points format. Is it was going to go back and forth, and hopefully we get a good race all the way down to the wire at the end of the year.
Folks, you can be, if you got a business out there, you want to get a little promotion out, I'm telling you right now, this is one you want to join in. We got a monster here. I mean, this not only the race is good, it's competitive, and I'm talking about our NASCAR Survivor Challenge Pick-em. You can, not the race itself. The races are phenomenal. How would you rate, like, I'm loving golf.
Sure.
So, for example, I go back, the numbers we're in, I read them a little while ago on the Heritage. We're talking about it. It feels golf is on the upswing.
Yeah.
And obviously right now, this time of year, yeah, you can have some Major League Baseball. You can have some college basketball, college baseball. You can have right now some playoff games going on. But we're getting to that point where on Sundays, it's really, you're either choosing between whatever golf is on Sunday or NASCAR.
Yeah.
And then for the lot of you that don't follow either, you're taking your afternoon nap or cutting the grass, you're doing whatever. How do you feel right now the fan popularity and publicity is working for NASCAR? So, like, how do you feel through 9 races? Are we on a little bit of an upswing? Are we drawing more attention?
I feel like this has been a good start of the season. And look, I pay attention to the TV ratings and stuff every single week. I think Kansas wasn't up this year compared to their race 1 year ago. And, you're averaging, around 2.5, 3 million viewers every single week, which is good. Now, yeah, that doesn't compare to what it was 20 years ago and stuff like that. But I think you're in a solid spot. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, which is the second level series in NASCAR, their ratings continue to go up week by week by week. So, you've got a lot of fan interest. I think the races have been compelling, and every race fan looks for something different. There are people that want to see a bunch of crashes and want to see a bunch of lead changes and stuff like that, and that's understandable. I think this past weekend you saw a lot of strategy playing out with when to pit, short pitting, and stuff like that, which I can find a lot of joy and excitement in. So from that standpoint, you're getting different types of races. Talladega is always going to be interesting because it is drafting and pack racing and big wrecks and all those kind of things that will draw a really good audience into it. And I also think them going back to the chase format to determine the champion has not brought back, but alleviated some of the concerns a lot of fans have had about the way the champion's been decided the past couple of years. This is more of a straightforward, legitimized way of deciding a champion as opposed to having the Final Four, and I think that's reignited a lot of people's interest and love for what NASCAR is, in my opinion.
All right, so maybe a good season for them so far, too?
I think so.
803-404-6100. So in the previous segment prior, actually, to Doug, we learned that Tyler is a ketchup snob.
Yes, I am.
I have put a poll question out. You can go to my Twitter at 247, at Will Gunter, WILGUNTER. I said, per the discussion on the number 57 NFL draft pick, tomorrow night, receiving a lifetime supply of ketchup, and I put a ketchup-type jacket. What was the jacket you said?
It was just a red. It has the little 57 emblem on it for Heinz ketchup, or now, Heinz in general.
Let's be clear. We understand, or at least I understand, Heinz 57 is a steak sauce.
Yes.
But we're assuming that because it's Heinz 57, that they are using the number 57, which ties in with the 57 draft pick, to do some advertising and marketing. It all adds up if you've ever done that kind of line of work. But they're not giving out steak sauce. They're giving out ketchup.
Yes.
Tyler has now admitted he is a ketchup snob. I asked the poll question, are you a ketchup snob? Several of y'all on our text line, 803-404-6100, have weighed in. Texter goes, Heinz is the only ketchup. Chase says, I remember the colored ketchups there in the early 2000s.
As do I.
That sounds disgusting. Joey, ketchup has vinegar, so it doesn't have to be refrigerated.
Okay.
John from Earnhardt said, I had a cousin that was a Heinz ketchup snob also. He eats it on everything. Hot dogs, eggs, anything he eats. Michael Butler goes with on everything. Got to be Heinz. Good buddy, former coach at ALA, now working over there with Jay Reed at Ben Lippen. Tyson Balknight, love ketchup. He said he even puts it on his eggs. Dave, you're always an interesting guy to talk to on this. Heinz ketchup, where do you stand? How do you feel about ketchup? Let's start with ketchup. Let's start with ketchup. How do you feel about ketchup?
Oh, I love ketchup.
Okay, love ketchup. How do you feel about Heinz ketchup now that I've set you up for this?
Well, my second wife was from Pittsburgh.
Oh, dear.
Always leads to that.
So
if you bought anything other than Heinz, well, it was a bad day.
So does that mean she's rubbed off a thing on you where you only buy Heinz ketchup, or you now don't buy it anymore?
I'll buy whatever.
Real quick, by the way, the best version of Heinz ketchup, glass bottle. If you can find it at a restaurant, glass bottle. Ketchup is an elite experience, unlike any other.
More exhilarating conversation. Hour 3 on the way.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
All right, here for our friends over at Canty Foundation Specialist. You always need to be on the lookout for things around your home that might just be a little bit off. Things like cracks in your exterior brick, cracks in and above windows and door frames, doors or windows that might be sticking, uneven or bouncy floors, or cracks over your garage door. If you notice any of these problems with your home, you could have serious foundation issues. And that's where our friends over at Canty Foundation Specialist come in. Go online to schedule your appointment today at cantycanfixit.com. They'll send a professional out to your home to evaluate those foundation issues and get them fixed right so you and your family can live worry-free going forward. Do not hesitate, because those foundation issues will only get worse. Go online to cantycanfixit.com and let a professional out at Canty Foundation Specialist help you out with your home's foundation needs.
Some challenges growing up. Sports was my outlet.
Tonight, the NFL Draft is live on ABC.
I believe that's what football's all about. The fans, your teammates, and family.
Be there when the next generation of legends steps into the spotlight. Touchdown! Hosted by Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban, Desmond Howard, and the College Game Day crew, who will write their name into NFL history.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Tonight at 8 on ABC Columbia, Channel 25.
Hi, I'm ABC Columbia Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
And I'm Good Morning Columbia meteorologist Tyler Ryan. From the sun up
to sun up the next day, we're dedicated to bringing you the most up-to-date and accurate weather information.
Our forecasts are designed with you in mind, so that you're prepared for whatever the weather throws your way.
And when severe weather strikes, we'll be on the air to keep you safe and keep you informed through every storm.
Watch ABC Columbia Weather on the air or on the ABC Columbia app.
If you're tired of dealing with gas, noise, and costly maintenance, it's probably time to switch to steel battery power. Right now at Cato's Power Equipment, we have 65 steel battery tools like the GTA 40 hand pruner, the BGA 60 blower, and the KMA 135 combi power head, each available with 2 free batteries for a limited time, giving you more runtime, less hassle, and up to $640 in instant savings. This deal is only available at Cato's Power Equipment, Columbia's home for the tools you need to maintain your turf. Visit catospowerequipment.com.
When money's tight and you're behind, it can be tough to play catch-up. But Liberty Mutual can help you make a comeback, a fourth quarter go-ahead drive, if you will. Liberty Mutual is clutch by customizing your car and home insurance to save you money, especially when you bundle. It's insurance built for real people with a team that works hard to help keep more of what matters most in your pocket, money. Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent, libertymutual.com. 2 words, prostate exam. Relax. Screening starts with a simple finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or over and have a prostate, visit relaxitsabloodtest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and the next steps. Sponsored by Novartis.
Are you ready for a new Gamecock tee? At Gamecock Traditions, they've got the latest styles and deals that will make you do a double take. Right now, grab 2 tees for just $25. That's right, 2 for $25. Most places charge that for just 1. Want name brands? Champion tees are just 2 for $38. And you can mix or match men's, women's, or kids' styles. Small sizes all the way to triple extra large. Fresh designs, incredible prices. Always the Gamecock Traditions way. Lexington, Sand Hills Village, or online at GamecockTraditions.com. Don't wait, these deals won't last.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
It is a Thursday. Bill Gunner, Captain David Ayer, Tyler Head. Hope you were doing well out there on a beautiful, beautiful day here in the Midlands. And whether you're listening this morning, whether it's or this afternoon, whether it's in Florence on 100.5, in Myrtle Beach 100.3, maybe you're in Charleston and you've located the HD channel on 96.9, we are very appreciative of you tuning in each and every day. You can always download the app, of course. Go to your app store on your cellular telephone or your device, iPads, whatever else is out there. Download the app, the 107.5 The Game app, and you can listen to us wherever you go. We've had some caller. Doug Turnbull is in Slovenia. You can listen to us in Slovakia, wherever he said he was at.
Slovenia.
Is it Slovenia? Isn't there a Slovakia too, or is that a food?
There is.
So there's a Slovenia and a Slovakia.
Yep.
All right. How about that? Well, I knew I was right. That's why I said it. Say it because it's right. I'm right because it said it. But we always appreciate y'all being a part of our listening audience, joining us, weighing in on some of our stupid topics like, are you a ketchup snob? Several of y'all weighing in. Another texter goes with love ketchup, but I can go with any brand. Heinz to Aldi to Dollar General brand. It's all about the cost. There you go. That's kind of, I'm with you on that. It's my son that is the ketchup lover in the house, and not so much me, but we've gone down that discussion. You go, well, wait a minute, how'd you get on that discussion today? Well, NFL draft tonight, number 57 pick won't happen tonight, but Heinz Ketchup has teamed up with the NFL draft and Devin Hester, I reckon, and whoever is the 57th pick in this week's NFL draft will receive a ketchup-colored jacket, specific tailored colored red jacket, but will receive a lifetime supply of Heinz ketchup. And I'm not going to lie, folks, I couldn't find anything more useless than a lifetime supply of Heinz ketchup. Or ketchup. Ketchup in general, Heinz, whatever. I don't even know what other brands are out there, but I could not care less. Jay from the Interstate says, Whataburger Fancy Ketchup is the best. On that. I've had a texter also weighing in today with me discussing the basketball situation at Lexington. It's South Carolina. They knew hiring, and we'll get into that as well coming up.
I'm glad that person brought up Whataburger because I will make one exception. Whataburger's spicy ketchup.
Spicy ketchup?
Heinz does not sell a spicy ketchup to my knowledge.
Okay.
I will acknowledge the spicy ketchup at Whataburger is very good. I don't know if that is anything related to Heinz because they just put it in Whataburger packaging, but I will acknowledge that is my one exception when it comes to ketchup.
Okay. And then that is let us know.
Because they offer something that I believe Heinz doesn't have.
That is. So
there you go.
Again, also let us down a path that y'all are correct and no need to correct us. Heinz 57 is a steak sauce. I get a text coming in from Steven. It says the real steak sauce is A1. I'm not ready to go down this path just yet. We're stuck on ketchup.
Though, and Jack and I debated this earlier because, again, the reason for using the 57th pick is because of the tie-in with 57 and the Heinz company, whether it's with the ketchup or not. There's a lot of opportunity for other brands to get in on this. And, hey, A1, if they want to sponsor the number one overall pick and you get a lifetime supply of steak sauce.
That's a good point.
In addition to being the number one overall pick, go for it. The 11th pick of the 7th round, a lifetime supply of Slurpees from 7-Eleven, boom. I'm interested to see if other companies take what Heinz is doing here, and in the years coming in the draft, we don't have very specific numbers with ties to certain sponsors.
What else do we have? We got 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. Somebody suggested Baskin-Robbins in 31 flavors.
31.
For 31st overall pick.
How many doesn't Dr. Pepper do?
23. They got 23 flavors. Yep, that's one too.
Okay. We might have to hold on to that. We might have to come back. Like, what would you, if you get a lifetime supply of something? I don't want to do it today. We got too many other topics. If you got a lifetime supply of something, what would you want?
For pick number 7, old number 7 Jack Daniels. That one might be more controversial.
And I know what I want. All right, it solves that. Now you got me going through all the bourbons I drink, and I'm trying to decide if any other else has a number. We'll get back to that. 803-404-6100. We've covered a lot of news. Last night, softball team, they need a big win. I get it. Look, I'm not going to, the most of you, I'd say 90% of you are not softball aficionados. South Carolina softball has not been something to really get excited about for a lot of years. Ashley Chastain-Woodard, I think, is changing that dramatically as we roll along. Last year was phenomenal. 1 out away from the College World Series. Unfortunately, couldn't close the deal. This year, if you were to look at the record, you don't really pay attention. You look at the record, you go, oh, they're 27-21, 5-13 in conference. Ugh. You looked it up. Right now projected as a 2 seed, but unfortunately having to go out and face UCLA.
Yeah, and that speaks to how good the SEC is, that, like, you can be sub 500 in conference play and still be thought of as a higher end seed.
2 seed.
A 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, there are plenty of goals still ahead of them. Obviously, last night surviving against a good North Carolina team on the road. We'll do a lot again. Ashley Chastain-Woodard going to join us tomorrow morning at 11:30 on the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. We typically check in with her every week or every couple weeks, and she'll obviously be very excited to talk about what happened last night.
Here is the go-ahead home run last night. Miss Tori Inslee with a home run in the 8th inning. Here's the call on it.
North Carolina, South Carolina. This one hit pretty deep and gone. A 2-run home run from the NC State transfer out of Franklin, North Carolina. And the Gamecocks have a 16-14 lead in the top of the 8th.
So a great win for them last night. They're now 27-21 overall. Texas A&M comes to town this coming weekend, and I just said that about not being efficient and everything. Again, you might look at the record and be like, no, that's not the case. 5-13 in conference, and they played a very strong strength of schedule. That's why last night's victory meant something, and so good for them right now. Hold course, hold serve here. Do what you got to do. Don't have any bad losses. A&M this coming weekend right now. And then after that, let me get you the rest of the schedule here. It is South Carolina State next Tuesday night, and then the season wraps up next weekend in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. So some winnable, a lot of games that, the Gamecocks will need to win both series, hold serve against South Carolina State. Then they'll go to the SEC tournament. They should be in the NCAA tournament. We'll have to wait and see.
They should be.
But good for them. Also, some women's news to talk about breaking earlier today. Dawn Staley landing the number 3 player in the class of 2026. And again, it's vital to understand the class of 2026 is this particular class. So it's not like they got a commitment that's a rising senior. Olivia Edwards is a senior. She was signed with Tennessee. And I said roster man. I said, what is it, turnover roster. Tyler pointed out, no, the whole roster went bye-bye, goodbye. And so
what happens when you throw your players under the bus midseason?
Olivia Edwards got out of Knoxville or did plan all of a sudden decided not to go. And South Carolina and Dawn Staley are the beneficiary. She is a 6'3" wing player. The scouting report on her really, well, I'm not going to lie to y'all. She's a McDonald's All-American. I definitely don't scout the women's game, but the scouting report says she needs to refine her offensive game, but shows ability to finish above the rim with either hand while extending her range beyond the three-point line. Defensively, her length and lateral mobility allow her to guard multiple positions and impact the game on both ends of the floor. Somebody hit us up with a text earlier that said that now gives us 3 young ladies who can dunk the basketball.
Yes, which you'd be probably pretty hard-pressed around the country to find any other team that can boast that stat. So, yes, size definitely going to be on the side of South Carolina next year.
Game is evolving. And a lot of that credit is owed to Dawn Staley, Gino Ariema. I'm willing to go back in the day to Pat Summit, but you see more and more attention, and what that's doing is creating young girls that want to play basketball and be a part of these programs. Sure. And now there's more of a drive by these girls to get out and work on their game. That's awesome. And, again, Dawn Staley deserves, when we look back in 20 years, 25 years, wherever college sports are at and wherever the women's game is, it'll be Dawn Staley who had a large hand in the evolution of women's college basketball and really maybe even the WNBA, even though you don't go, well, it's a direct impact. But we will look back and I think say that Dawn Staley, the way she is, the motivational speaker that she is, impacted the game. So a good pickup for her there with the addition of Olivia Edwards. And now you'll kind of have a front court. She'll be more of a wing, but you'll have a front court with Ashley Swatkins Ashley Watkins, but I know the nickname is Swatkins. Ashley Watkins, Chloe Kitts, Joyce Edwards, and again, the young lady whose last name I will get sometimes after she graduates.
Alicia Turnabise.
Alicia Turnabise. So South Carolina, I think in the most recent ESPN way too early preseason top 25 had them at 4.
Probably help them out a little bit.
This might even jump them a spot or two higher. 803-404-6100, how you can win. When we'll come back, we'll get back into the NFL draft a little bit more. Jordan Reed has his top quarterbacks out, and we'll talk about that a little bit from this draft. Tyler and I both agreed. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of excitement as it pertains to the NFL draft. Is that because big-name players? Is it because we lack star power? I will admit, when I've looked at the mock drafts and I see a Jeremiah Love running back from Notre Dame that I know is good, but never really captured my attention. When you see him as a top 10 pick, is that a sign of things? Is it because there are fewer Gamecocks and Tigers that we typically see in the NFL draft? But we'll talk about the quarterback situation, where right now really only one projected to go in the first round. Maybe another one that's highly questionable, in my opinion, sneaks in. We'll talk about that, getting you set for the NFL draft tonight. You're listening to the Halftime Show.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
If the Gamecocks hit a grand slam, you can win cash. It's the Crescent Construction Grand Slam Giveaway. If the Gamecocks don't hit a grand slam, the pot goes up $25 a game. Just go to 1075thegame.com to register. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Hey, that was our exit. We're going to miss the first pitch.
Just got to make a stop at Kroger. I promised I'd bring nachos.
Nice. You have the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's that?
Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And they just added Kroger stores in Columbia.
Wait, I can get money back just for buying groceries?
Yep. And right now, you can get an extra $10 bonus on your first Kroger trip with the app. That's up to $25 cash back on one grocery run.
Even this Kroger store right here?
Yes. Now pull over. Let's get some cash back on those nachos.
Upside is now available for Kroger stores in the Columbia area. Download the free Upside app and use promo code FAM3 to get a $10 bonus on your first purchase at Kroger. That's promo code FAM3. Remember, use promo code FAM3. Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
I went through some challenges growing up. Sports was my outlet.
Tonight, the NFL Draft is live on ABC.
I believe that's what football's all about. The fans, your teammates, and family.
Be there when the next generation of legends steps into the spotlight. Touchdown! Hosted by Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban, Desmond Howard, and the College Game Day crew, who will write their name into NFL history.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Tonight at 8 on ABC Columbia, Channel 25.
Hi, I'm ABC Columbia Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
And I'm Good Morning Columbia meteorologist
North Carolina,
Ryan.
South
From
Carolina.
the sun up.
To sun up the next day, we're dedicated to bringing you the most up-to-date and accurate weather information.
Our forecasts are designed with you in mind, so that you're prepared for whatever the weather throws your way.
And when severe weather strikes, we'll be on the air to keep you safe and keep you informed through every storm.
Watch ABC Columbia Weather on the air or on the ABC Columbia app.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Joe Sandifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Going on 217 on your Thursday. Bill Gunner, Tyler Head. Going to be a fun night of sports. You got the NFL draft that you can lock into tonight. I can't preach enough about the NHL playoffs, which I think have just been phenomenal thus far, and how good they've been last night. Last night might have been, I don't want to say the most disappointing night because you did get an overtime game in Dallas, Minnesota, but Philadelphia blew out Pittsburgh 5-2. Anaheim goal fest in Edmonton 6-4. Dallas, Minnesota was good 4-3. I didn't make it all the way to the end of the Anaheim Edmonton game, but the Pittsburgh game, we're going to circle back to that. Should we allow more fighting in sports? Like if an offensive and defensive linemen are having at it. Should we implement a rule where they get to rip off each other's helmets and fight, but the first one down, much like in hockey, gets the 15-yard penalty and has to sit out a series? Think about it. We'll come back to that.
Okay, all right.
Maybe more fighting in sports because if you watch hockey, you're like, oh, that's good, and everybody understands the rules.
Right.
They're all understood. No eye gouges, no fish hooks, nothing of that nature. This is not WWE. Settle it like a man, couple punches, first person down, you're out, you lost. If it's excessive, person who won, you get a smaller penalty. We'll discuss that later. But also tonight, NFL draft. But Tyler, again, is it my age? Is it lack of Gamecocks, lack of Tigers, lack of a major storyline for me not having an NFL team? The juice isn't there. The interest isn't there. Is it me, or do you sense that amongst yourself as well?
I think there's a little bit to that as well. And again, you have, obviously the Mendoza guys like that really kind of stand out. You mentioned Jeremiah Love, who had a really good career, from his time at Notre Dame, and plenty of talented guys on defense and stuff like that. But it doesn't feel like it quite has the, I don't know if personality is the right word, of maybe some years past in the draft. Like, ooh, I can't wait to see that specific guy where he goes. A lot of it's just kind of lumped together, it feels like.
I mean, even with the number 2 pick, and I think this kind of encapsulates it. Mendoza's, the kid's cool. I got no problem with him. But he's kind of boring. But not only that, he's not going to be there tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be watching from home.
Like, he's not even going to be there to walk up and do the old Roger Goodell man hug and dap him up and hold the jersey up. But like the second pick, they're great play. This is not commentary on how good these guys are. But like David Bailey, the linebacker from Texas Tech, or Avril Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State. To me personally, I'm like, I don't even remember Avril Reese from Ohio State. Like, who in the heck was that?
Yeah, he's one of many really good players on that defense. Sonny Sykes, Caleb Downs, all who were expected to go in the top 10. And maybe Downs is one of those exceptions, like a name that's a well-known, a little bit more around college football. But, yeah, it's like, okay, I recognize those guys are good. David Bailey, really good player on that Texas Tech team that obviously made the college football playoff. But it's not quite the same flash as like, hey, like in Jeremiah Smith next year when he comes out. It's like, oh, Jeremiah Smith, where is he going to go? Is he going to be the number 1 overall pick, 2, 3, whatever? Even like a teammate of his in Cardinal Tate doesn't quite have the same pop in terms of like, hey, where's he going to go in the draft, which is likely going to be very high. Same thing with like Mansour Delane from LSU, who, again, is legitimately one of the best players in this draft and will likely be the first SEC player taken off the board. It just doesn't quite have the same pop to it as some of these other guys could.
No, it doesn't. And, I got to admit, that's kind of the big deal there for me. Now, I am always interested in the quarterback situation. And this quarterback draft, again, to kind of laugh, a year ago, we were looking at this draft and we were like, man, Lenora Sellers, Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier. Yeah. Man, this is the draft that resets the quarterbacks in the NFL, and now you're looking at it like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Fernando Mendoza, who I think is a far thing from a sure thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at these things, and when you see Curtis Rorick from Indiana 2 years ago have a big career but wasn't an NFL prospect, Mendoza's got like a lot of the physical attributes that could lead to a very good NFL quarterback. But my question is, was he a system quarterback or is he an NFL quarterback? Drake May, I think, was an NFL quarterback, but at a questionable school in North Carolina. He still did good things, but it wasn't, obviously we didn't know much about North Carolina. Is Fernando Mendoza a byproduct of Kirk Cignetti, or is Fernando Mendoza a standalone, really good quarterback?
I think he stands alone a little bit because you can go back and look at some of the draft projections from a year ago when he was coming out of Cal, transferring over to Indiana. There was a lot of expectation like, hey, this is a guy that could really turn a lot of heads and maybe be somebody in next year's draft. Obviously, we didn't foresee him winning the Heisman Trophy, winning a national championship, and being the number 1 overall pick. But there was smoke to him being a high pick in the draft class because of his measurables and his mechanics and those kind of things before he ever became the superstar that he was this past year. So I don't think he's just a product of Indiana. I think there was already enough juice there. He just elevated it with how he played this past year.
After him, it gets really, really shady. And Tyler, the guy that is now kind of universally being said as the number 2 quarterback in the draft, is a guy who, is it because we didn't see enough of Ty Simpson? Is it because his career in the opening games of it? Remember, Ty Simpson's opening game, let's all remember this.
Yeah, it was bad.
They go to Tallahassee and get blown out by a questionable Florida State team. Ty Simpson was also the quarterback, I believe, at South Florida, again, for Alabama against South Florida, when they kind of struggled in that ball game, if I remember.
That was Tyler Buckner.
But was Buckner there?
That was Tyler Buckner.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was when they benched Jalen Milroe for Tyler Buckner.
Okay. All right. But Ty Simpson's beginning of his career at Alabama, the first 4 or 5 games were not really maybe I'm thinking of the South Florida game where he got it going.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is it feels like we're trying to stretch to find a quarterback, to find the second quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, and that's where the debate comes in. And again, you have an organization like the Steelers who are still waiting to find out what Aaron Rodgers is going to do with his future that might be willing to take him, or an organization like the Cardinals, as they've obviously moved on from, Kyler Murray. I believe Jacoby Brissett is there now, but that's not a long-term solution. They may view him as kind of that next option. The Jets could use a quarterback as well. So there are a couple teams in that first round that could take that leap and go with him, or he may fall into the second round. But it's not a slam dunk that there's definitely going to be multiple quarterbacks picked in the first round like we thought there was going to be this time a year ago.
He came back again. Ty Simpson, I say he got off to a bad start, but he came back after that 23-43 performance against Florida State, was 17-17, but against Louisiana Monroe for the season, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I mean, he had a good year, but how much faith do you put in a guy that has had 1 year of starting where there's talent? Know there's talent at Alabama, but it's one good year, and now you're willing to be like, yeah, that's the number 2 guy in the draft.
Yeah, it is one of those things that, you kind of look at, and, I lean towards some of the draft experts on this. They like his mechanics and his IQ on the field and those kind of things. And again, he was surrounded by a lot of talent at Alabama, and depending where you go, that could kind of vary when it comes to the NFL. And I don't know if he's somebody that you would throw out there as a day 1 starter, or if you can sit back and let him develop a little bit. That's always my idea when it comes to quarterbacks, is letting them develop before you kind of throw them to the wolves a little bit. But it's an interesting debate, and I think regardless, if he goes in the first round tonight, it'll be controversial to some degree.
All right, let's play a game here. I'm going to eliminate Ty Simpson. Who is most in now? Who has the high? I'm going to give you who has the most upside. So you're willing to give him time, but who has the most upside, and whom is the most NFL ready right now? All right, I'm going to give you Garrett Nussmeier.
Okay.
Carson Beck. Drew Allar. You should. Those are quarterbacks 3, 4, 5. Cole Payton is number 6. This is according to Jordan Reed's QB hot board.
Yep.
Cole Payton is 6. Taylon Green is 7. Luke Altmaier, Illinois, we kind of remember him, 8. Finally, there's Cade Klubnik, who at one point was talked about being a top 5 draft. And then Sawyer Robinson wrap out the top 10. So let's ignore 6 through 10. Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck, Drew Allar. Highest upside, who's the most ready to step in this year if you need a quarterback to be a starter?
All those guys have their various inefficiencies, which makes that a tough question. I'd probably go with maybe Carson Beck because, again, he was thought of prior to his last year at Georgia as a guy that could have been a high pick in the draft. Again, he made some real boneheaded decisions in that last year. Had some more of those this past season, but I think the way he played down the stretch, certainly in the college ball playoff, maybe alleviated that a little bit to some degree. He still's got those, like, hey, he's going to throw a bad interception at some point, but same can be said for Nussmeier, same can be said for Drew Allar, too. It's kind of a hard question to answer, but I guess I would lean towards Carson Beck, maybe.
For what?
For out of those guys that you gave me, maybe being the most pro-ready.
Okay. Who has the biggest upside? Who would you take and say, all right, we're gonna marinate him for a little bit, and then we'll get back to him, but a little bit of the marinade box, and then we'll have him in 2 or 3 years?
Oh, God. That's another hot.
That one's an easy one for me.
You think that's easy? Who do you think?
I go Drew Allar.
Okay.
I think physically Drew Allar has the most. Now, Drew Allar mentally is an absolute head case.
Sure.
But you play for James Franklin. Maybe I'll give you a pass on that. I think Drew Allar is the guy that, like, no, he's not ready, and it's more than likely he's an NFL bust. But if you made me choose from those 3 alone, he's the guy I go with. That I'm intrigued by what he can do.
Yeah, and we saw him make improvements throughout his career with like downfield throwing and stuff like that. So you see the development abilities with him. So yeah, that's not a bad option. And again, Nussmeier played injured a lot of this year. So how much of that was on him? How much of that was on the injury and all that kind of stuff? It's tough to say, but definitely all 3 of those guys took significant hits to what their draft stock has been in years past.
I mean, Allar, to me, big kid, 6'4", 6'5", in that range, 230 pounds. Again, what was it? Was it this year there were the jokes about Penn State throwing the ball down the field and not really attempting enough?
That was 2 years ago. His numbers did improve.
Exactly.
But a couple years ago, it's like, yeah, if you need him to throw the ball 12 yards down the field, you're out of luck. Sorry.
Well, but didn't we put more of that on the offensive coordinator than we did on him? I'll go as far as to say this. I'm not sure I wouldn't take, for marinating purposes only, and I don't know who's the most ready. I would probably go Garrett Nussmeier.
Okay.
NFL dad. I feel like he's the smartest of the 3. I feel like he's the guy that can come in, and if you need a game or 2 this year from a backup quarterback, and it's going to be someone, it would be Nussmeier. But the guy that I would look at is Drew Allar. If I could put him in a position where he's behind a KG veteran or somebody who's going to be around just a little bit longer, Drew Allar might be the guy.
Yeah, and look, I'm always pro letting a guy sit and marinate a little bit. Like, I hate throwing guys to the wolves. I get it. Some teams are in situations where they have to do that. Like, I think Mendoza's going into an interesting situation with Kirk Cousins now in Las Vegas where they don't have to start him day one. They'll be like, hey, we're going to let Kirk Cousins start. You're going to learn. When we feel like you're ready, we'll throw you out there, but you don't have to start him day one if you really don't think he's ready.
803-404-6100. A little bit of NFL draft talk there for you. All right, when we come back, Alabama, baby. What you be doing? Lots of money, lots of a big extension, huge buyout for a coach that you weren't really happy with. Boy, if y'all thought Ray Tanner made some questionable decisions with buyout, I'm interested to hear what you think about the Alabama situation. We'll talk about that and what transpired yesterday with Kalen DeBoer. It is the halftime show.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out our sweet deals, like $50 worth of great eats from Grill Marks for just $25 and a 6-month membership to the YMCA for half price. It's all at 1075thegame.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax relief advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2859. 800-488-2859. That's 800-488-2859.
Join Gamecock fans of all ages on Saturday, April 25th as you run, walk, or jog through Gamecock Park and the indoor and outdoor football practice fields for this year's Cocky Trot 5K and Fun Run and Walk. It's fun for the whole family, so don't miss out. Registration includes a commemorative race shirt and medal and access to purchase discounted football and baseball tickets. Register today at GamecocksOnline.com/CockyTrot. That's GamecocksOnline.com/CockyTrot.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. You know, too often guys will not go to the doctor when they're feeling off, whether it's because they think they can tough it out or because they don't want to talk about it. Don't be that guy. Get to feeling better after you see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. They are experts in healthcare for men, and they're dedicated to making you feel like yourself again. Call them up for a free consultation, 803-875-MENS, and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
When a plumbing problem shows up, you call On-Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. From dripping faucets, clogged drains, to water heater service line repairs, and emergency plumbing. Our licensed technicians provide fast, dependable service you can trust. Don't wait for a small issue to turn into a costly repair. Call On-Call today at 803-781-HELP.
On-Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Pick up the phone and we'll be right there. Call 781-HELP.
The Haven Harley-Davidson 4-day spring event runs April 23rd through 26th. Thursday kicks off with Grill and Chill. Friday brings an 80s-themed Back to Bike Night. Saturday features a bike and car show, plus a sound-off competition. And Sunday wraps up with Family Fun Day. Check out the new 2025 Street Glide Ultra with 0 down, 2.99% APR for 36 months, and up to $2,000 in customer cash on select models. It's all at the Haven Harley-Davidson. Discover more at thehavenharley.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health. The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter and Tyler Head. On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
So there is a Carolina calls tonight. I think yesterday I said there was at Monty Lee, 7 o'clock. Carolina calls with Monty Lee, and we'll hear from him as they get set Kentucky. Again, reminder, 3 games this weekend here at Founders Park. And I believe we have some baseball tickets to give away.
Yes, we do. Let me go to where the ticket fair is.
Forgot about that. All right. We got,
yeah, be ready today. We got 2 family 4-packs for Saturday. Callers number, go 1 and 2 at 803-404-6100.
Quick hands. Saturday. Family.
4 o'clock.
Family 4-pack?
2 family 4-packs.
2
Callers
family.
number 1 and 2.
Take the family. Get out. Saturday will be at 4 o'clock first pitch, 3:45 pregame. You can hear that right here on 107.5 The Game. The Gamecocks and the Wildcats this weekend over at Founders Park. We'll rejoin you on Monday. We'll be here tomorrow, but we'll rejoin you on Monday. And at that point, Tyler, we'll kind of be like, all right, what is it now? I mean, that's really honestly, if they take 2 of 3, you're like, hey, good job, guys. All right.
Sure.
If they sweep the series, you're like, that's great. All right. And if they lose the series, you're just like, all right, what else happened this weekend? Oh, yeah, draft.
Again, I think we have to look at these games in a bubble now of like, all right, it was this weekend. What happened this weekend? Was it good or bad? And kind of big picture's a little bit gone now.
I understand. 803-404-6100. Call in now. Callers 1 and 2. You win a family 4-pack of tickets to Saturday's 4 o'clock first pitch game at Founders Park. All right. Well, it felt like this offseason more than ever. We looked at universities. I get it. You don't like Brian Kelly? Get rid of him. No problem. I understand. Oh, $50 million to get rid of him? Whew. All right. Well, your money tree's better than ours. Penn State, you want to get rid of James Franklin? Good. How much? How much are you going to pay to get rid of him? To which a lot of people start going. Then we have had this discussion locally here with buyouts and so forth and so on. Is it out of control? This is crazy. Where are these universities coming up with the money? Don't do this anymore. Make the contracts incentive-laden. Oh, Alabama, you're not really happy with Kalen DeBoer. He hadn't lived up to the standards that you set forth for the program. You finally get to the playoff, and you get blown out by Oklahoma?
Indiana. They beat Oklahoma.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy to forget about that, though.
Yeah. They got beat.
Their Oklahoma win was sandwiched between getting blown out by Georgia and getting blown out by Indiana.
So yeah, and went to the Rose Bowl and got that happen where it looked painfully obvious they didn't belong on the field. You get blown out by Indiana. So what do? Contract extension time. 7 years. Here, $12.5 million a year now is where the contract will escalate to.
Well, I think it's important to point out that the frustration and disappointment, we've heard from the fan base, obviously, because it's easy to be vocal about that on Twitter, message boards, stuff like that. We've never really heard Greg Burns' stance on this, who's the athletic director. He may be thrilled with what Kalen DeBoer's done so far. Like, hey, you almost made the playoff in year 1, you made it in year 2, and you won a game. Like, fantastic. Like, again, he's the person and the board of directors or whatever that make those decisions. They may love what Kalen DeBoer's doing, and they may not necessarily align with the fan base, but they're the ones that ultimately make the decision.
But, and there's always a but, numbers last night circulating, buyout, upwards, over, at least to start, $80 million. Will it diminish? Yes, obviously. But $80 million for the buyout. Now, it's easy to say there's 2 ways to look at it. What are you doing? You're not happy. Most fans weren't happy to begin with. You're not reaching. Now, mind you, the standard level for Alabama was set so high by Nick Saban that nobody could reach it. Realistically, nobody could reach it. But $80 million in a college football world where we're starting to wonder where money's going, what's going on. The Kentucky Kentucky governor is questioning financial decisions of the University of Kentucky. The LSU governor is getting involved in decision-making. Money is being spent like everybody does have money trees in Alabama right now. Fine, good. You locked in. To me, you locked in with Kalen DeBoer. But Tyler, let's say it takes 4 years. I don't know the exact. We still haven't gotten the exact terms. But let's say it takes 4 years. You're probably still looking at a buyout upwards of $40 million for Alabama.
Yeah, and it's one of those things because we know his name was floated out there for the Michigan job as all that was unfolding with Sharon Moore and stuff like that. Don't know how far down the road that got in terms of him being a legitimate candidate. This almost kind of seems like reactionary that Alabama's afraid he might leave and go somewhere else in the next hiring cycle, so they want to make sure they lock him down. I don't know, but the timing of this being April 22nd when this happened yesterday is interesting for sure.
Yeah, my thing is more not so much about, cool, Alabama, if you want to be the program that does it, but we're sitting here and we're discussing these incredibly large buyouts, and universities are having to deal with this and having to deal with that, and oh my goodness, how is everybody being able to afford this? And over the top comes Alabama, and like, hey, and it's great. Kalen DeBoer, by the way, if you start reading off what has occurred with Kalen DeBoer, by the way, this is the kind of the crazy part, and it just shows you how great Alabama football had it. Hey, Alabama football, welcome back to where the rest of us are in college football. But if you start going back, they're not thrilled. But Kalen DeBoer has like all these kind of small, I almost want to say irrelevant records right now through his first 2 years at Alabama that make you go, oh, and I knew Kalen DeBoer's a great coach. He just hadn't lived up to what Nick Saban was, and nobody was going to do it.
Yeah. And again, by all accounts, for most programmers in the country, what he's done in 2 years is great. But like you said, that's the impossible standard that's set at Alabama. And maybe the people in the front office there understand, like, hey, this guy isn't going to be Nick Saban and win us, 6 national titles in a dozen years or whatever it may be. So they're looking and saying, okay, well, what we're at and what we're expected to be now, we're doing good.
Now, for those of you wondering, if you read it, him leaving, if Kalen DeBoer were to decide to go to, say, the NFL and or Michigan, his buyout is $10 million, but that decreases $2 million per year and goes down. So the point being is if you go and you're like, well, no, Gunner, you're wrong. It's a $10 million buyout. No. That buyout in particular is for him leaving, not the university actually if the university fires him without cause, or was it with call? Yeah, with cause, I believe, or whichever way that works. But no, the buyout for him to leave is $10 million. So again, let's hypothetically say at the end of this year, things don't work out with Kyle Whittingham and Michigan, and Michigan's looking around like, let's make another run. Then you'd have to match the 12.5 that he's making to be like, hey, come here. Plus, we owe Alabama now $10 million to bring him home.
Yeah.
So that's why you see the numbers on that buyout. But to me, this is Alabama locking in with Kalen DeBoer for a minimum of 4 more years. And Tyler, I mean, again, the worst he's probably going to go is have a down year of 8-4. This year he's replacing Ty Simpson as quarterback, who, look, there's no doubting, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Ty Simpson was one heck of a college quarterback and probably could have used, in my opinion, 1 more year of seasoning there.
Yeah. But he's got a 5-star quarterback in Keelan Russell, who people are very high on. Austin Mack, who I believe transferred over with him from Washington a couple years ago, that are in a battle there. Again, he's still got talent all over this team. They had a great recruiting class, so they're still fine. But again, by the standard of what Alabama's supposed to be, they're not quite there. But again, that's an impossible standard to live up to.
Well, and again, it would make me kind of wonder, like, does Alabama this year, Ryan Williams, whatever he's changed his last name to, like, obviously last year was so down for him. He doesn't come back as one of the. Is he a star NFL college player this year? Like, is he come back as one of the top 5 in your opinion?
I think he's fallen off quite a bit because, again, he came out burning so bright in those first handful of games of his freshman year. We're like, oh my God, this might be him and Jeremiah Smith, who's the best, freshman quarterback in all of college football, and the production really waned a lot to where, I mean, he's still going to be looked at as a good player, but no, he's not the superstar of college football that I think we thought he would be at this point.
So, that kind of makes me wonder. There are lots of really good Alabama players, don't get me wrong on that, but do they have that star that they've had in years past that we all look like wow, that is, I want to watch Alabama on Saturday. Now, who knows, maybe one of those quarterbacks develops into that guy, but right now.
Off the top of my head, they don't, which is something that is new, because typically you could at least point to one guy and be like, oh, he's their star player. I don't know if they have that right
Edge,
now.
linebacker, defensive back, somebody.
Maybe there's somebody I'm omitting, but off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of anybody.
And again, there are questions for Alabama. We know that they'll be picked. Look, Alabama's been to the SEC championship the last 2 years. He's got 21 wins over those 2 years. I mean, again, Kalen DeBoer has done a lot of really, really good things. He's got 20 wins, 20-8 in 2 seasons. Again, they were 11-4 this past season, but again, lost a 38-3 game to Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Chris Lowe of On3 has said that they were aware of Michigan's interest in him after the firing of Sharon Moore, but DeBoer never spoke to Michigan or had any discussions. So, anyway, Alabama takes care of him with a whopping contract, in my opinion, given it was somebody I can't say they're fully thrilled about. We'll come back and wrap up the Thursday episode. It's the Halftime Show.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino, your online casino for plays, spins, and a chance to score. Must be 21 and over. Terms at ChumbaCasino.com. The New Orleans Saints have the 8th overall pick tonight in Pittsburgh, and it's going to boil down to whether they want defensive impact or more firepower for Tyler Shuck. The answer should be firepower, and they should go with Ohio State's Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate plus Chris Olave, match made in heaven. I'm Addie Bates.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Car wreck? Dial all sevens now. We got a $250,000 settlement for a client injured in a car accident when driver illegally turned in front of him.
Dial all sevens now.
The Nestapool Law Firm is not scared to go to court. We got a $2.5 million jury verdict for our client when the other driver failed to yield.
What do? Good heavens, dial all sevens.
To get your attorney, dial 800-ALL-7s now.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Is your crawl space damp or musty? Water in your crawl space can cause wood to rot and creates an environment for mold and mildew that can make its way inside your home. Canty Foundation Specialist specializes in crawl space repair. Call us today for your free inspection so you can have the peace of mind knowing your crawl space is dry and your home is protected. Call today, 803-424-8380, or visit CantyCanFixIt.com.
The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Likely correct. Our good buddy Doug Turnbull has tweeted back at me after promoting his segment on Twitter. He's probably right on this. He says, going on a limb to say that was the only Talladega radio hit done from Lake Bled, Slovenia.
I got a very good inkling he's probably correct on that.
Probably right. We have put out a poll question today, not pertinent to that tweet, but we have put out a poll question on Twitter regarding, so again, what did you say, tonight? Is that right? We said tonight, not tonight, it'll be tomorrow night. The number 57 pick in the draft,
late second round,
will receive a lifetime supply of ketchup and a ketchup type jacket, or ketchup colored. We don't really know how to explain it. We get it. Heinz 57 steak sauce, but you get it. Heinz 57. You get it. You see where they're going with it. All right. Tyler says he's a ketchup snob, and he's kind of proven that over the last few minutes last hour with breaking down different ketchups. And you had a Whataburger spicy ketchup
at Whataburger is my one exception.
Okay,
that's very good.
All right. Are you a ketchup snob? 803-404-6200. You can text that in. Just yes or no. Are you a ketchup snob?
Or a snob for any condiment. My mom is particular about like Duke's mayonnaise.
Okay.
So
yeah, mayonnaise is like
mayonnaise is a very popular one.
Very diverse. Maybe divisive is what I'm going for. It really, divisive. It is some of y'all out there with your Duke's love or your whatever. Hellman's? Is that the other isn't there a third?
Duke's, Hellman's, Kraft. I believe has their own mayo. They also have Miracle Whip, which is his own thing.
Yeah.
Blue Plate is another popular mayonnaise brand. Yeah, those are kind of the
one
heavy
that like
hitters.
the Dukes, and I think it's maybe the Hellman's. Man, y'all get way too fired up about the type of mayonnaise.
That's very much a Southern argument. I feel like.
I think a lot of people it is because a Southern dish. Dave, do you agree with this? Not that Tyler's not Southern, but you're a little bit older than both of us. A BLT. That is a Southern, I call it a Sunday because I grew up on Sundays with them after church. But a BLT is a Southern snack, right? Like that is are we doing that in the Northerners and the Midwesterners and the West Coast people doing BLTs?
I've never thought about the regionality of it, but maybe not.
It feels like a Southern snack.
Okay.
Dave, are you with me on this? Dave's not paying attention. That's all right. Nope. We'll get back to Dave later on that. Get his opinion. But we put a poll. BLTs, Dave, welcome back to the program. Glad to have you here today. It's been a joy. BLTs, Southern delicacy. Is that a Southern item or is it a nationwide, you think?
Well, I thought I love BLTs, so it's got to be Southern.
But did it originate in the South?
It's one way to define it. Well, Dave loves it, therefore it's Southern.
It's got bacon on it. It's got to be Southern. It's good. It's got to be Southern.
All right. Where does this say it originated from?
Let's see. The BLT originated in the United States, likely developing in the early 20th century. It just says United States. We don't have a region. I don't see a good region on this, Tyler. Said a similar sandwich appeared in the 1903 Good Housekeeping Everyday Cookbook, and more specific recipes emerged in the 20s. I mean, come on, did anybody need a recipe for this? Like bacon, lettuce, tomato, bread? How much did this work here?
But what order do you put it in? Do you go bacon first, then tomato, then lettuce, or lettuce, tomato, then bacon?
Bacon goes on top.
Hold up. I mean, it depends. So are you saying to go to the order? And I wanted to get one more topic before we closed out the show. None of that won't be really relevant either. But that means just hold the sandwich the way, like when you say in what order it goes, you put the bacon on the bottom, or do you specifically every time pick up with the bacon on the bottom?
I've never really thought about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My only question would be, what are you putting in the middle? What's in the middle? Like, which one are you going with in the middle?
Or why can't you put bacon?
Does the tomato go in the middle? I'm kind of with you on that.
Why can't you put bacon on both sides?
Or
so
go with double
top
bacon.
And a bottom.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Also, underrated, very weird here. Sometimes if you substitute out the tomato for cucumber, also really good. I call it a BLC.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of cucumbers.
Here's one for y'all. Let me just help you out as we close out that topic. In 1958, Hellman's advertised their product as the traditional on bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches, confirming its status as the established favorite.
Okay.
Take that, you Duke's Mayo people.
I guess somebody's got to lay claim to it, right?
Hellman's went in and stepped up for it. One of the other topics we had today that started at the very beginning of the program, who did you model growing up your game after? Baseball, basketball, football? I kind of, because, so many similarities, modeled my point guard game after the one and only Allen Iverson. A lot of similarities there. He's a little bit taller than me. You had a couple, you said wrestling that you modeled after.
Yeah.
You even then went as far as to say it might have been a little illegal.
Yeah, multiple wrestlers use the DDT.
Oh, dear Lord.
Where you grab somebody basically with a hook at your side and slam their face in the mat. So when people would shoot on me to try and take me down, I'd give a little pinch and then just kind of
Fall?
I'd fall backwards intentionally just to bounce that face off the mat a little bit. Never got caught for it.
The header. Is that what they called it?
They could have. That would have been a really good name. But no, if you don't get caught, it's not illegal.
The Georgia high school wrestling state announcers, he got him in the header. He got him.
Should have thought of that back then.
We'll do it all again tomorrow. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying two phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000.
Need a roof? Trust Crescent Construction. With over 20,000 roofs installed and counting, they've got the experience you need. They specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, and general contracting. Visit CrescentCarolina.com today for free estimates and free inspections. That's right, no cost, no commitment. Crescent Construction, quality you can count on. For all your roofing and construction needs, visit CrescentCarolina.com now.
Want to unlock the power of athlete marketing to grow your business? Garnet Trust has recently launched a business membership program, making it easier than ever for your business to work directly with the USC student athlete. Visit GarnetTrust.com today or call 803-250-1765 to see your business boom.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health. Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.